Oh, doing really good, right? You wake up, you see pictures of your own city, and it is Dota related. A lot of people are gonna be coming in. This is gonna be the center of Dota for the next week or so. So life couldn't be better.
Absolutely, life could not be better. Getting to have so many lands back to back is always quite exciting. Can be a bit tiresome for the players having to jet across the world, but that is what they have to do to demonstrate that they are the best Dota team in the world. And of course, that benefit also comes with a little bit of cheddar cheese. If you end up being able to demonstrate how good you are, first place prize $400,000, $1 million will be distributed no matter what. But that's a pretty big chunk of change, man. I'm glad we have so many $1 million lands back right now.
And I like that you mentioned cheddar cheese. I mean, cheese has been getting really expensive in the past couple of years, so you better be winning these tournaments if you want to get it.
Yeah, if you win enough of these tournaments, hopefully you can make your own block of cheese at home. Don't have to worry about picking it up within the game itself. And that will bring us, of course, to who is going to be competing over the course of the next week or so. These are the invited teams: Team Spirits, Team Falcons, Tundra, Team Liquid, the current TI champions, BB Team, Gaimin Gladiators, and of course, Aurora Gaming. Looking at these squads here, Harry, who are you giving me the biggest odds of winning the tournament from?
Dude, Team Spirit, they're the hometown homies. If you go to their Wikipedia page, it says Serbia, so it has to be them, right?
Yeah. Team Spirit, the honorary Serbian team that's competing at this event. And of course, we have the teams that found themselves having to qualify for this event. MOUZ coming through Western Europe, Liga team coming from the East, Yakult brothers, formerly known as IG, representing the Chinese region. And then, of course, Tundra Esports from the C, and MOUZ repping that NA region. I want to quickly talk about MOUZ for a second, fam. It's very intriguing to me that they spent so many years being the second fiddle, second string squad behind Shopify Rebellion. But since they've claimed the #1 spot, Rebellion seems several steps behind. How long do you think it'll take before we stop seeing MOUZ as the qualified team from NA?
Well, something has to change, right? So there was a big change at MOUZ. They brought in Milan, who's going to be one of the casters for the main event here in the BB Dacha. And from that point onward, they started playing really well. He's no longer a part of the team, but I'm guessing there is something he learned from them, they learned from him, and I'm hoping that they continue with the same pace. But yeah, something has to change in the other team. Someone has to come over, be the coach, beat a new squad to be able to contend with them right now. Because at this point, it seems that MOUZ are no diffing every single qualifier.
Yeah, they are definitely sweeping through North America. They haven't had as much success on LAN, however, so they still need a couple of steps to go before they can demonstrate just how good that squad is. And of course, we are going to be seeing them in action later on today. They are in Group B. And looking at these two groups, often we have the conversation of which is the group of death. Which one, if you are one of these players in the game, which one would you be more scared to be a part of?
Dude, every single one does look hella scary, not gonna lie. Maybe the teams from Group A, the one that we're gonna be covering, might have had better-ish results lately, so I guess I'm gonna be sticking with them, but both of the groups are pretty stacked.
Yep, got TI winners in both groups, TI grand finalists in both groups, multiple-time LAN winners in both groups, yeah. Gonna be a very interesting experience, and sadly, unfortunately, it's not one of those circumstances where you just get an easy ride into the next phase of the tournament. So you have to show up and to give your best Dota from the onset, in order to demonstrate how you are rolling in this tournament. Now, of course, we look towards what the schedule for this day is going to be. The vast majority of the games on this stream will be happening, of course, on Stream B, starting off with Tundra versus Yakult Brothers, Yakult Brothers versus Team Liquid, Tundra versus Talon, a BB Team taking on MOUZ, and then rounding up with BB Team versus Talon. Any upsets that you're seeing from our side of the schedule here?
I mean, Yakult's brothers, I don't know what to expect from them. They did okay in the qualifier, but it was only 4 teams, so I guess we should be looking at them. I know that you are the one that is hoping for them to do well.
Listen, man, listen. Chinese Dota is where it's at. I really want Yakult's brothers to do well because they are in a tough group, and I think relative to everybody else in their group, you'd probably say that them and MOUZ have the greatest odds of being eliminated early on in the group stage. So this first game that they're going to be playing, I want to see them do as well as humanly possible. Just for the Chinese Dota fans who've been, especially after TI, it's been tough. It's been tough supporting that region at the moment. It's turning our attention actually to that matchup. What I find interesting about that first game, it's been a while since we've seen a non-LGD, non-Azure, non-Extreme Gaming, basically an unsigned stack from China being represented in a tournament. So what do you think? Do you think they're going to be putting themselves back into that IG banner, back into an LGD, or are they going to rile solo and just do it for themselves from here on out?
Maybe it depends on the results, right? I'm hoping they do, because it's very nice from the viewer's perspective. I don't know how you look at it, but let's say I'm going to watch a game of Dota and I see Tundra versus Yakult's brothers. Who the hell are Yakult's brothers? I'm gonna watch the other stream, right? But then when you see IG, then you're like, oh, I want to see how strong IG right now is, especially for some of the old Dota players that might not be following the scene that much. So because of that reason, I like for that to happen, but it is a nice breath of fresh air to see a completely different name and then know that it is from the China region, because we didn't get much of that pretty much ever.
No. The last time that I can remember like a big push from a team was like when Wings became Team Random, and that's years and years and years ago, right? For the most part, these squads are always coming from the usual suspects. Maybe we can have an outside shot for Team Zero, but Team Zero does have an organization behind them. Yep. They were building their name in China for a while, so it doesn't fully count as like a random stack out of nowhere. So it's going to be fun to see. Hopefully Yakult's brothers can surprise us in the same way that Team Zero did at TI this year.
I'm hoping they can, and I think it comes down to the discipline of Chinese players, right? Because when you have some European teams, they might get lazy. They're like, yeah, we don't have to practice. We've destroyed everybody. Go back to Gaimin Gladiators 2 years ago. They're destroying everybody. Then suddenly it cannot happen because everybody else wants to get on top of them, and they probably get a little bit relaxed. For Chinese teams, I think that doesn't happen, right? So some random stacks are very rarely just gonna come together and destroy the big teams, because the big teams are always prepared. So this is, as we mentioned, the breath of fresh air for sure.
Speaking of breaths of fresh air, their opponent for today is going to be the side of Tundra Esports, an organization that has won TI in the past. 33 is back on the roster, at least the organization that allowed him to win TI. But he left the TI winning squad in order to assemble this new team that he's got going for himself. Is Whitemon in the team? We still have the superstar, the legend, the boss of Nightfall able to play some Dota 2. Saksa back in TI winning form as well. This team on paper, absolutely terrifying. I absolutely would want to play against them, especially since even without the full roster here, Harry, they were able to get super deep in the last LAN.
Yep. They look pretty solid, right? That core of the lineup, the 3-4-5, very strong. And now you get some big stars. And I would say that Nightfall and Lorenov can probably work well together in terms of play styles. And Lorenov with that new hairdo, he does look hella scary, like Michael Schofield.
Bro, he was dripped out in that insert, had the hat and everything, got that jersey with the mandala patterns. Now he's looking fresh as hell. That is the new Tundra, of course, hoping to try and conquer the world. For me, I'm just glad that they kept Saksa, right? I remember I had a conversation with somebody after TI, and I was like, I feel really bad for Nine Class, because Nine Class is an amazing player, but what are you supposed to do when a guy performs that well as a stand-in at TI? Kind of forced to sign him after that performance.
Yeah, I mean, and considering that it's BB Dacha, right? We're in Belgrade. Saksa is from the Balkans, so you could say that he's somewhat on the home turf. That could help as well.
Okay, we've got multiple hometown heroes coming in, and of course that Tundra lineup. The thing I'm really intrigued to see is how they will adapt their playstyle from the PGL Wallachia coming into this tournament. Very different playstyles between, say, Shad and Mid One, and having now 33, or Lorenov rather, with the carry of Nightfall. So might take some growing pains, a couple of series for them to fully adjust. So maybe they'll be thinking to themselves, it's a decent opportunity that the opponent we're going up against hasn't necessarily been a world beater from day one, Even when they were still G2 IG, IG's been struggling for a while. A lot of those players have ended up leaving. So maybe you're thinking to yourself that this is a good warm-up training match for ourselves. But that being said, many times in the past has our boy Emo on Yakult's brothers made enemy teams regret underestimating him. So if there's anyone on the squad that can carry them to victory, I'm going to be looking towards that mid lane and looking at Emo.
Dude, this video, we saw it yesterday, and it gives me such high horror vibes. If I'm watching, or if I'm coach of Tundra, I'm telling them don't watch this video, because you're gonna get scared and you're not gonna feel like that favorite any longer.
I think the big thing for me about that video is the beat, man. Yo, whoever the engineer was that came up with that beat, thank you for your efforts and your service, fam. That was really, really good. That's the kind of music that I play before I want to hype myself up for a good Dota game. So if I'm hearing that as my entrance music, man, no way I can lose this game, man. Shout out
Is
to
that
Yakult brothers. They can do it.
so? Let's say you're having a boxing match. Is that the beat that you're choosing?
Nah, if you're having a boxing match, you choose X gonna give it to you, man. You gotta do that fast.
Okay, that makes sense. But scaring your opponents is pretty nice as well. So we saw both of them, and I really like the videos. I can't wait to see the other ones. I know you and me saw these two yesterday. I really like the little from 1 to 33 on the 33 jersey, but I can only expect what production has in store for us for some of the other teams.
Yeah, the 1 to 33 thing was cool. The transitions on the back of the jerseys throughout Yakult brothers, that looks super sick as well. So I am quite excited. Of course, now we are done with the super fresh production. We've got to get into the nature of Dota 2. While we're looking at towards this Tundra team, of course, a lot of new faces here. We've been speaking in the past about how well Whitemon has been, how much he's leveled up since leaving NA to come to Tundra. But bro, we have to talk about the coach, man. For years, Moon Mianda was getting trashed when he was coaching TSM. You know, people thought that this guy is always going to be second fiddle towards Bulba. What is he really going to amount to? It feels like since he's entered Tundra, man, this guy's ideas about the game have just gone to a new level.
Yeah, I haven't seen many of his interviews and obviously haven't talked to him directly, so I don't know exactly what his part is and what he brings in, what are his ideas in general, but the teams that he has coached have always been consistent, and I feel like as a player, that was always something that he brought in even in the old OG, and for me, that is the most integral part for a team to make it to tier 1, right? You need to consistently be good. You cannot have this coach that has a couple of good ideas, you beat teams into one qualifier and then a LAN comes out and you get smacked. I think Moon Meander, he brings that consistency to the team, and I would like for that to continue. I have a lot of big brains on this team, just hoping that those ideas do not clash.
Yeah, the brain trust is certainly quite stern, so strong from the side of Tundra, and IG, or Yakult's brothers rather, having the coach Yakult's long-time veteran coach Super stepped down after, 4 or 5 years at the helm. Talk to me about this. How much of a difference does it make when you've had this stable coach for such a long time and then you change him up right before a couple of big tournaments? What impact do you believe is going to have on the team?
Well, that's the thing that I talked about. I don't know about him, but maybe in this tournament environment where, let's say, Yakult's brothers are not looked at as one of the favorites, a new guy with some fresh ideas can make a difference, right? So that is from the side of Yakult's brothers. For this tournament in particular, I'm hoping for something different. Though the problem is that in the qualifier, when they did play something different, when they played their Brood Mothers and their Beepos, they usually lost. And then when they just played standard Dota, they looked good. So I'm kind of torn in terms of what approach they should have.
Now you are playing up against Tundra, so you can expect a curveball or two. Have to be ready with a few of those yourself. In particular, I think they have to be able to address the lane of 33 and Saxa. These guys are already laning monsters, but at TI, man, I saw some pretty disgusting things coming out of these guys. So what do you think, draft-wise, should be the best thing to do in order to try and contain 33?
Oh, that is a hard thing, man, because maybe just ban all of the heroes that you're unsure of how to deal with, and don't think about ways of dealing with some of his best heroes. I think that's probably the best approach, because there were already talks about this, that 33, he just knows all of the matchups on his heroes, right? And you are not gonna beat him, because in every single pub, he can even first pick them and still do well. From what I'm seeing right now, he's playing a lot of Brood, Pango, Bristle, and Doom. He really doesn't have that much versatility in his pubs, so maybe just target that, right? Target his heroes rather than trying to destroy him in the laning stage would probably be the safest move here.
Well, we'll see what they do as we get into our first draft, Tundra Esports versus Yakult brothers, to open up the group stage here at BB Dacha. And of course, Yakult brothers banning out the 33 heroes. They are
Exactly.
listening to my boy. No Doom, no Beastmaster, no Visage, and they do the smart thing. They were watching TI. They know that giving these high-skill 4-position players like Saksa, giving them Tusk, bad idea. Rather pick it for yourself. You have a high-skill 4 player in the form of Baboka. He can definitely make miracles happen on the map with this hero.
I'm just looking at Baboka and his pubs recently. He only has one Tusk game, whereas there's so many other heroes that he has played a lot. I was expecting like a Batrider first pick or maybe even a Muerta, but they do go for the Tusk. As far as I know, this is not something that they flex to Poloson a lot, but I assume that he can play it because of all of the ranged carries that are being played right now that could just go really well with the Tusk in the lane.
Still have a little bit of time to determine how that's going to be. What's Tundra going to open up with? Let's see here. Go for the Clockwork. Okay. I feel like Clockwork has become the stable hero for the first phase, right? Where the uber buster stuff's not really available. You don't want to reveal one of your cores just yet. You just pick up a Clockwork. Good vision, good team fight starting, solid laning prowess. Just so much fun to see right now.
And it was such a long time that people were thinking, what are we going to do for this Tusk hero? And then they were like, why don't just wait for him to leave the snowball? And heroes like a Clockwork, like a Dark Willow, you know, those heroes that just have something waiting for you when the snowball ends is a big deal. You go for a snowball onto the Clockwork, he keeps you in the cogs. If you have 1 or 2 more heroes, it is just a really good setup for the rest of Tundra. So a lot of people have been going for the Clock. And he's one of those guys that might be able to out-roam or outlane the Tusk, and there's not a lot of heroes like that.
Yeah. The trend continues from Yakult's brothers to just ban out some 33 heroes as we remove the Broodmother, and now they come back for this Batrider ban. I mean, we've seen some very good Batriders recently, so I'm happy not to see this hero, honestly.
Yeah, I
don't like the bet.
I'm okay with it. It's not super exciting. What I would like to see is Saksa has been playing a ton of Muerta, but like scratch the Muerta, that's a fine hero, but he has been playing a ton of Bounty Hunter. I don't know if that's something that you would want to pair up with the Clockwork, maybe as a support duo, maybe if you have something like a Darkseer or some constant output of magical damage from one of your cores, but I would really like to see something like that. But they're just gonna be going for the standards. This is kind of what we said. Tundra, with this lineup, maybe they should right now focus on the basics. Become the real tier 1 team that can play anything, and then just go for specific playstyles.
Shadow Fiend, Clockwork, seen this so many times. One of my favorite parts about this combination is that if you pick the Clockwork first, the enemy team can't even pick the Shadow Fiend, right? It's just completely out of the question. So you set yourself up to be able to dictate terms on how that lane is going to go. A nice little range hero, give them some magic damage, a big punch as well to be able to scale throughout the later game. I like this. I like this. How many games has Nightfall played on the SF recently, though?
I see 4 in pubs, right? He has had a couple in the competitive gameplay. So there's the Pango. A lot of people now are not going for the double jump. We are just going to be seeing a very, very fast Pango, most likely. So we're expecting that to happen. And Yakult's brothers, they're the ones that are going to be picking up Muerta. This hero on position 4 has been making some waves recently, and we can expect this to be the double off lane of Yakult's brothers, considering just how many Pango games Zeal has been playing lately. And then when we look at Emo, he isn't really that big of a Pango player.
Zeal was playing offlane Pango even in the era where offlane Pango was bad, when everyone was just running it mid, but his performances on this hero speak for themselves. And I'll just check quickly. We're about to make history. This is the first Shadow Fiend, if it does indeed end up in the safe lane, that Nightfall has ever played in his professional career. Completely unpicked, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds weird to me. Not gonna lie, especially with how the SF was that popular in the meta. Yeah, I'm can't say I'm not surprised.
We'll see seeing some of his efforts in the pub department have prepared him for this. Hopefully they've been scrimming in the background as well. There is a non-zero chance this ends up being for Lorinov, but I always think that Lorinov is at his best when he's able to play like a hero that makes plays around the map, making movements. In particular, his DK I think is excellent, but that style of hero, you know?
Tundra Esports.
Yep. There it is.
Oh.
We got the bounty. I mean, the SF does bring a lot of damage to the table, but I want to see something that's going to help these heroes get kills. Oh, there's the Darkseer. Let's go. Let's go, man. This is what I wanted to see. Okay, so this is a Darkseer picked where you don't see the enemy carry. So Yakult's brothers can prepare for this. The thing is, are there any heroes right now that you're super happy to play into it?
Into this Darkseer. Let's see. They have some jump and some kind of gap close, but it's not that much. It's pretty much all on the clockwork. Maybe you pick
Gyro.
up. Maybe you try to outrange the Shadow Fiend. I see Gyro, Medusa, potentially Drow. I think any one of those three is probably fine here. But Medusa, Drow, I think, and Medusa and the Gyro are a little bit higher on the stack for me.
Yeah, the Drow hates when she gets ran at. The Medusa illusion is too strong. So I think Gyro is probably like the top one. They've been playing some... I mean, Flyfly has been playing a lot of Nature's Prophet. That could be cool to go with it, because really the Bounty Hunter doesn't do much versus it. But they're gonna get the Invoker. This now makes it certain that it is gonna be an offlane Pango. I like this in a sense that if you look at the lineup of Tundra Esports, they want to run at you, right? They want to get in your face. Tornado is one of the best spells to make sure that's not happening. And of course you have the Purge to remove the Surge, to remove the Iron Shell as well. So in that regard, this pick does make a lot of sense.
Tornado Ice Wall does seem pretty fun here. Okay, I like this. And they're going to make sure that they give him as good a lane as humanly possible. They've already banned Storm, no Puck. I mean, we could see like your favorite tiny mid, but I doubt it for a game like this.
Yeah, you say your favorite. It's a bait. It's a bait. It's not good. There's a couple of players that can make it work even now, but I wouldn't want to see it. Something that comes to mind is a Lorenov Queen of Pain. That is a hero that he likes to play. So that is maybe something that we can look out for.
We could also just go all in on the wombo combo department. Pick up like some Earth Spirit into this mid lane. Then just get crazy amounts of magic damage coming out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Earth Spirit would make a lot of sense. But I wouldn't be surprised if it just gets banned out. That is... that might be a hero that you do not want to see. On the other hand... You know, Emo might say, yo guys, I'm gonna crush the Earth Spirit in the mid lane. Just let him have it. And really an Earth Spirit without mana would have a rough time CSing versus the Invoker, even though he's a melee hero.
Morphling, oh, that would have been nice. No morph. So what is Flyfly going to be playing here? We already spoke about, definitely going to be some range carry, right? I can't envision them going for a melee carry in this particular position.
You and me yesterday, we talked about the Juggernaut. We all know who is like the main counter to the Darkseer. You know who's cool versus the Darkseer in lane and pretty solid versus the SF because he gets into your face? It's a Bloodseeker. It's not something that's being played quite a lot, but you know, when meta starts changing, then we see changes as well. And there's the Troll. Okay, so you get another hero that can get in the face of the SF, but also if you get an Aghanim Scepter, you have a way of removing a lot of things that track from yourself, and of course, all of the buffs coming out from the Darkseer.
Yep. You also honestly don't care about the Darkseer lane when you're playing this Troll. Very happy to see it coming out right now, and then they round out their drought by giving Lorenov a very active hero. Void Spirit going to be coming out right now for Tundra Esports. So this does fix some of their catch problems. You know, Whitemon is not going to have to do all of it by himself. This is a hero that can carry the Iron Shell into the engagements, try to set up, and it's a hero that plays quickly, right? I think if you have the Bounty Hunter in your game, you do not want a mid laner that needs like an item or two to get active, right? You just give this guy levels, he can start roaming the map and making things happen.
I have one problem with this Yakult's brothers lineup. They have limited catch, and then if you look at Tundra, they're very speedy, they're very mobile. They are 4 melee heroes, but they tend to run circles around you rather than 100% commit. And that is something that the Troll generally doesn't like playing against. He hates when he's being poked. So this Invoker is gonna have to do some heavy lifting in terms of setting up the fights, in terms of dealing with those pokes with the right spells, to when Tundra make a mistake for the Troll to do damage. I really love Darkseer lineups. It's very hard for me not to cheer them on right now.
Well, we already know where the loyalties of Harry Freak lie right now. Going to be rooting for this Darkseer. You know, I find it very difficult to go up against my Chinese boys, but I have to agree. There are a lack of overall consistent team fight. You know, it's always poking and prodding into them. Also, this Troll Warlord is going to have to buy like several items to sustain himself in the fight, right? He's going to have to also be very careful about when he pops the battle trance. If he doesn't kill 2-3 heroes in that duration, they just re-engage on you and bring you down afterwards. So I need Fly to have a rock star performance. Cannot die too often. Has to be super clutch with his positioning in the fights. Not impossible, but certainly I also favor Tundra in this situation.
It's hard to play the troll in this game. It's not even about killing people with your ulti. You cannot use your ulti. You're not gonna kill them with your ulti. Apart from, I think you're using it here to survive rather than to kill people. And he has to have that in the back of his mind. A lot of players, I mean, even big players like Fly can make mistakes and think, oh, I can burst this guy down, pop the ulti, then suddenly something moves you away. The hero gets surged, they run out, and you are left chasing a Darkseer lineup that once your ulti is down, they will turn around and kill you. So this is by no means an easy troll game. One of the players who is not currently in the scene, Yatoro or Radan, he knew how to play the troll in this way, where he almost never uses the ulti until the very last moment and doesn't put himself in bad situations. But if I was a carry player, this troll I would not want to play it all that much. But it can be done, as you mentioned, with perfect play, with perfect spell usage, and understanding how to poke and deal with the poke of the enemies. It can be done.
We'll see if he's going to make it happen as we enter into our first game of the series, our first game of the tournament. BB Dacha kicks off right now. Tundra versus Yakult's brothers, game 1. Any of these facets that seem to be out of pocket? Everything seems regular. You know, we were speaking yesterday about how people are going away from drinking buddies, thank God.
30 seconds to battle.
So
Yep,
nice to see tag team back in the mix.
There's not much of a surprise when it comes to the facets, and very rarely do we see surprises in terms of facets. Maybe when something changes in the meta and then people are experimenting with something new, but overall we do get used to the preferred ones quite quickly.
While we are paused here, let's take a quick moment to try and look at these lanes, right? Mid, what do we expect? Void Spirit versus Invoker.
The Void Spirit should do okay, right? You should be able to CS quite nicely. It comes down to the Invoker using the Tornado to remove your Resonant Pulse shield and then harass you, and by doing that, getting more CS. The new Invoker generally is no longer a hero that anybody really beats in the lane, but I think the Void Spirit can keep himself close in terms of CS.
So about to see the bounty rune trade here, Saksa. Wanting to get the ball rolling. He does get scouted out though. Fly slows him down with the axes. They even trigger the tag team here from Paulison.
He's in trouble.
Towards Saksa. Blood grenade was dropped. He doesn't have the walk and he should be dead. First blood drawn by Fly. That is how you make sure your troll game is off to a roaring start.
And that is an 8 armor hero, but tag team is just such a bullshit spell, right? That it does immense amounts of damage and you cannot escape. Troll in the Tusk is really something that you have to be afraid of. And you know, this is what happens. Even a player like Saksa, he probably is used to in the lane that nobody's doing any damage to him, but because Troll isn't being played like a huge amount, you forget just how annoying this hero is with all of the slows that he brings in the early stages of the lane. And even 33 right now, Tundra, they're underestimating this lane.
That's the one thing I will give this troll, right? Throughout the game, I agree with you, it's tough to play, but this lane, you're fine, dude. You're gonna farm, you'll be eyed, you'll be chilling. Fly knows how to handle this, how to handle himself. Overall, what do you think the best way for them to play this lane with the Darkseer is? Do you play with the Iron Shell Harass? Do you just cut waves? What's the plan?
Yeah, you cut some waves, I mean, with the Darkseer, it's always the same. You play with the lane equilibrium, you shove Fly to the tower, and then you run circles around him. Once you get to level 3, you can even think about killing him. And you can see Saksa is going for some shenanigans, wanting to kill the couriers. That is 1 down already.
And so it begins.
Yeah.
Which player was it? Do you remember that game with, was a player playing Ricky? They hunted down like 20-something couriers in one game.
Yeah, man, I don't know who it was, but there are people like it. The most career hunting happened with the Monkey King, right? That is. Remember when people were like level 1 with the Monkey King for a long time, just killing careers? That was hella annoying for everybody.
Hell, one of the guys responsible for that meta, Boboka, is in this game.
Yep.
He's not playing the Monkey King this time around, but certainly something to consider. Tundra even banned that hero out, knowing how versatile it could be for Yakult's brothers.
He is the original Monkey King position 4, right? He got into the scene when 7.0 came out, when the Monkey King was there, so, and he was playing it. I still remember, I mean, you and me talk about it all the time when we cast Baboka. The basher on the Monkey King, when it was allowed, he was literally winning every single game with it.
Yeah. Winning games and tanking frame rates. That is the Baboka way.
Oh yeah, back then, man, if you use a Wukong's command, your PC is screwed. It didn't even come. You could have the strongest machine in the world. Once the Wukong's command is being used, there is going to be a slight freeze.
Yep. Fly doing well in the CS department. Down bottom, how are things going for the Shadow Fiend? He's top of the CS right now as Nightfall. This is a lane where I do not anticipate any real issues for the Shadow Fiend. Like, I actually don't see how like Muerta, Pango defeat the SF or even force them out of the lane until they have a rotation coming in from elsewhere in the map.
There is always a chance for an SF to overextend and die, right? When Whitemon is pulling. And you can see what Whitemon is doing. He goes for the pull, and he even gets close to the SF. He doesn't care about the extra experience, because it's very important for you to be with him all the time. Any 2 heroes can kill an SF.
Bro, Saxa getting gone on in the top lane. They have a sentry ward down, but does manage to make himself away. Not going to be a kill just yet, but they're just threatening him, reminding him of what happened in the jungle earlier on. We still have the power to bring you very, very low, my friend. Play carefully.
Tundra is playing this lane manly. They understand the high armor of the bounty hunter, and they're just allowing him to tank the tag team. Because you do have such low HP, 1 or 2 tangos are enough to heal you up from when you lose that half HP from the engagement.
Bottom lane. Zeal just going to take some harass here. Oh, nice little jump away to avoid the raise. Top lane, we're going back onto Saxa. They got the tag team back online. Another sentry is dropped, and this time they do secure the kill. Fly, hoping for a lucky type of route. Not gonna get it, but they just need the snowball to chase down 33. It's a double kill for Fly, a killing spree for the Troll Warlord 3.5 minutes into this game.
Oh man, 33 really didn't want to get that surge. You could see how he was waiting. He's like, no, I want to have the vacuum because it can give us a kill at some point in this lane early on. And then at one point he's thinking, oh no, I'm gonna die. At that point, the snowball was already used and he was gone. So in the end, he's really suffering. This, I mean, we're used to Darkseer lanes not having the greatest of times, and that's one of the reasons why this troll was picked. It is the laning stage that the Yakult's brothers were looking to do good in.
Top of the net worth is this troll. Oh my god, 2.7k net worth, 500 up on the Shadow Fiend.
Did he get? He got all 3 of the kills, yeah? He's 3-0-0. Saxa, however, is 2-0 when it comes to killing careers, but unfortunately he's 0-2 when it comes to his own deaths. There seem to be some issues. I don't know if it's ping, if it's the PCs, but something seems to be a problem. Okay.
We get the G codes, we'll be fine. It's a
just not the double Gs.
No, that comes later. We're still on the way.
Okay.
So no phase boots for a little bit of time for this Troll Warlord. I don't think they can exploit this timing all too much, but at the very least it should mean that they are a little bit reluctant to try and make another aggressive play with this Troll.
You have level 3 with the Darkseer, but you are still scared. And
Oh,
there's the sentry.
Saxa.
They are reading them like a book.
Walked underneath and they knew what's up. They were prepared for this. Not going to allow him to manipulate more waves. Not going to allow him to pressure Fly.
Iron
Doing
Shell.
good job on Paulison.
Oof, the Iron Shell allows them to manipulate the wave. We're pretty much just looking at the top lane because that's where the action is at. We barely have a chance. Invoker is starting to make a difference. In the first couple of levels, Lorenov was keeping up in terms of CS, but as soon as Emo started to apply a little bit more pressure, get more points in the EMP and take away the mana, things have started looking bad for the Void Spread.
Looks like the action doesn't stop in the top lane because we're going on to Saxa now. Can they get him in? Paulison loses vision for the snowball, and now they're turning onto Fly. They throw a blood grenade at him, and they do find the kill. However, it doesn't come for free. It costs the life of 33. And the worst part about this, yeah, they do get the kill, but you would have loved for that goal to go the way of 33 instead of Saxa.
It's a bounty hunter. He's gonna be rich at some point. I mean, 33 is having a good lane, right? If you look at it, it's not bad for him at all. It was mostly Saxa that was being smacked in that one. So in the end, not that bad of a result on the top lane for Tundra, because kills at 6 minutes much more valuable than the ones at minute 2 or 3.
Speaking of 6 minutes, we've gotten out the shield rune right now for Emo. We could potentially see somebody come in towards him. put some pressure onto this Void Spirit before the Astral Step is out, but right now, Yakult's brothers do seem content to be getting their farm, and looking at the net worth charts, I can't really blame them. All across the board, they are getting what they need out of this laning phase.
Everybody, I think everybody is kind of okay with the laning stage, apart from Lorenov. He is not having a fun time. Everybody else is not going to be shut down. Oh, poor 33. He just cannot. He's not allowed to do anything. And that Tusk might even steal the Ancient Creeps. But Saksa, he wants to steal something much more valuable, a Wisdom.
Let's see. I don't think they will know that he's here right now. Zeal also making his way over. Yeah, taking the Watcher will reveal him. He might still try for it, but no, he gets dusted, calling out on top of him. And Saksa, he will end up going down. At the same time, Emo helping to kill off 33 on the other side of the map as they steal that Wisdom rune. Oh my goodness, from bad to worse for Tundra, as on both sides of the map they lose heroes and experience.
And also this tower is huge, right? Because the Darkseer, this hero is very well known by shoving out the waves, and very rarely do you see them losing a tower. But there are some of these matchups where if you lose the lane, there might be some pressure coming. This was a perfect time for Emo to rotate. They get both of the Wisdom runes. It looked like for a second that Tundra could get both of them, but it just seems they got way too greedy. And there it is, the Ancient Steel is coming out from Paulson. He's level 6. Darkseer is level 4. You cannot get close. Look at 33's face like, ooh, that's not good.
That's the face you make when you click on the enemy hero and you're like, wait, what? Level 6, really? Nah, something's wrong with my computer, guys. Somebody pause the game. The HUD is not working properly. There's no way he got this much experience. But he did. Now he might get more in this mid lane, potentially if Emo helps him out, but he just decides to walk away. Instead, Emo's going towards Whitemon. Clockwork Goblin will end up dead. Zeal claiming the final hit. And Yakult's brothers just moving so quickly across the map right now.
There is always one problem with the Darkseer lineups, right? You are putting a lot of emphasis on that Iron Shell doing well. If you start doing really badly, you're down in levels. Sure, Iron Shell will do damage, but none of your heroes are going to be tanky enough to stay close to the enemies long enough. And Tundra now, for the next 5 minutes, they're going to be needing to survive, and they're not doing it too well.
Well, speaking of survival, can they get Psyker out of here? He's going to get hit with the Rolling Thunder. Sunstrike connects as well. Paulison claims the kill. Whitemon did his best to help out, but not really much you can do to stop these boys. It's a 3 versus 2. They even drag Fly into the mix, but he doesn't get there in time. Everybody's already dead. More pressure on the map from Yakult's brothers.
I can't help but feel that Yakult's brothers were prepared to how Tundra wanted to play Dota. It just looks like they know exactly what they need to do versus Darkseer lineup, which is weird because not a lot of Darkseer lineups have been played lately. There is some come out from time to time, but people have generally been staying away from the hero. Now they are screwed once again.
Yep. 33 gonna get caught in by the cold snap. No way out of this one. Saksa will kill the Mithril Hammer, but this is probably gonna cost his life. Snowball forward coming in from Paulison. They didn't connect with the Ice Shards, but they do get off this dust. Saksa doing his best. They're keeping him under vision. It's nighttime, so maybe he can get out. No, he can't. Tornado just clips him at the very edge. Emo is here. Sunstrike doesn't connect, but it doesn't need to. Killing spree for the Invoker. More death being drawn from Tundra, and Yakult's brothers asserting themselves on the map right now.
And it's so sad that Saksa dies there because he did everything right. He did use the Healing Lotus immediately after the dust. That was just to get out of the invis so that he's gonna be able to escape, because the dust does take away a lot of your movement speed.
Sometimes you can make 0 mistakes and end up being punished regardless. Saksa still doesn't have the level 6. You know, the signature portion of this Bounty Hunters game has not begun. And if they can keep chain hunting him, it might be delayed forever. They find him once more. Saksa here with the Sunstrike, right clicks from Fly. And will we see level 6 in this game at this point in time? Who knows, because he is just being a feeder on his side of the map.
And he's making a lot of mistakes here, or basically he's being forced into the mistakes. You know what would be a mistake? If our viewers do not subscribe to our Twitch channel, the Whitemon. This is not a mistake. This is just the enemies completely destroying you everywhere on the map.
Yeah, well, like you were saying, everybody at home, if you're not aware, you are watching BB Dacha Dota 2 by Fissure. And of course, make sure that wherever you're watching, you hit that follow button and follow us on Twitch, follow us across the socials for the exclusive updates. Because if you don't, you're going to be missing out on all the wonderful goodies that are going to be coming from BB Dacha. So hit the follow button, make sure you like whatever you're watching, and make sure that you root for Saksa to hit level 6. He's smoked up right now with Lorinov. They realize that they need to do something on this map. They can't let Yakult's brothers just run at them without response.
It has to be Lorinov with an Iron Shell, right? But the thing is, you've lost your towers, the bottom and the top. That is generally where you want to fight. On the side lanes with the Darkseer, very rarely are you going to see him running towards the mid lane. So you're having this mid lane tower. In this game in particular, it is not the most important tower for Tundra.
The smoke that they went on, unfortunately, hasn't found anything just yet. Lorinov hanging around this mid lane, and it's so dangerous to consider this jump. Like you mentioned, they're going to need the Iron Shell. He'll just go and grab himself a haste rune for now. All right. And the rest of Yakult's brothers are like, okay, bro, you do you. Emo just pops Alacrity, and they will be able to muscle through this tier 1 tower.
I don't know how you defend this tower. Thing is, you don't. Aurora already beat Nouns on the other stream? What?
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, look at that. Upper right corner. It says 1-0.
What?
Ah, okay.
Wait, what?
It's kills. It's kills, man. It is only kills. I'm okay.
Speaking of kills, you might get one right now because another one will be going towards Yakult's brothers. Zeal taking out White One, and they're going to steal these stacks as well. It feels like the only thing that Tundra has been really able to do in this game is hunt down these couriers. Heroes are just off limits at the moment.
Yeah, we talked about it when the bounty hunter is killing couriers in the laning stage, it's fine, but when he's only doing that 10, 12, 15 minutes into the game, that means that something has gone terribly wrong. At least he does have a track. The problem is you have 1 kill in 13 minutes. Even if you would get track gold with this pace of getting kills, it really doesn't matter.
Tundra, baby. Gotta figure something out. Fortunately for them, the Shadow Fiend is still farming very, very well. The question is Shadow Fiend the hero that can actually like carry this game? Bouncy, that's your value in the game, my friend. Do what you need to do to make yourself useful. It's dirty business, but it does have to be done.
What is my purpose? You kill careers. Oh my god, that is not a good point to be for Saksa. We could give him like a skin that looks like one of the Elon Musk new robots for the bounty hunter.
You do nothing else but kill couriers.
Is under attack.
So Paulison just gonna make sure that his team does not lose possession of this wisdom rune here. Get it for himself. By the way, what is Zeal building in this game on his Pangalia? As well, his courier just died. He's going for Blink Dagger next. So here's the one bright spot, my friend, right? Because they're not going to be building a pipe anytime soon, it does mean that if they do end up making a big positioning mistake, if there is a big Vac War combo into a Requiem, there is still a lot of magic damage available for Tundra, even if it's going to be difficult to get Yakult's brothers into that position.
It's hard to survive on Tundra. That's the thing. You have to wait for the Darkseer items. But overall, considering how bad you're being beaten in kills, this game is not in that bad of a spot for Tundra. One fight could change anything, and the SF has quite a lot. The problem is, of course, if you bring an SF to the fight now, there is a good chance that you're gonna die. So you need to wait for that BKB. You need to wait for the enemy dive. And so far, Yakult's brothers have been playing pretty clean.
Well, they don't want to wait though.
Tower is under attack.
Psycho feeling like he's perhaps strong enough to get involved right now. Darkseer is here as well.
dangerous.
They're going for a full 5-hero smoke up. They want to try and leverage their team fight spells, but unfortunately, the big problem they have is they just do not have vision anywhere on the map, so it's quite difficult to decide where to go with the smoke.
It's the Guardian Greaves time, right? That is why you want to fight. You think it gives you power over the enemies, and really it does, because the enemies do not have any aura items at the moment. This item might just keep you alive long enough for the Iron Shell to kick in with the damage. But Yakult's brothers are more than aware that something is happening.
They have a sentry down. They scouted out Saksa. Baboka pings him out.
Nice.
They even throw in the dust, but he gets away well in time. The dead shot actually almost clipped him, but he's out, he's good. But sadly, they destroy the vision they left behind in his wake.
They're playing so clean on Yakult's brothers. You see that very deep ward that Tundra did place there in the enemy jungle? That ward is not going to give you anything because you haven't taken down a single tower. It gives you some info, but maybe mostly killing couriers and such. I really like this facet of the bounty hunter. It allows you to shove out the waves, and it's exactly what Saksa is doing. He doesn't even mind if he dies that deep. That'd be a good death.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Space created. Saksa doing everything and showing off that, you know, there's still things you can do even if you had a tough start to the game. If you understand your hero well enough.
Yep. The understanding of a bounty hunter is the hero is annoying. Full stop. Right. And now he's gonna die.
Yeah. He is being chased. Saksa. Okay.
He's pretty speedy.
He gets his, he might actually get out. He's away from the sentry. Snowball though. Oh, Paulison catches him. The Sunstrike from Emo will finish him. I think if he actually started running towards the northeast, he might have lived. Because they weren't on top of him directly with the dust anymore.
He won't hate it. He now knows that there's a war there. And at some point, he's going to come over and take it down. What he has been doing with his bounty hunter, since he cannot get gold with the tracks, he's been getting some gold off the map by killing the couriers, by shoving out the waves and getting down the ward. So this is by no means that bad for him.
In the meantime, though, Yakult's brothers, they feel really, really strong. An Aghanim Scepter for the Troll is about to emerge, and they're about to try and get that in tandem with the Aegis. This is a pretty strong power spike for them, and there's no way that Tundra can stop this right now. They have the vision of the Rocket Flare, but it's too late. Just gotta deal with playing into an Aegis Troll.
Oh no, guys, they see us. That's nice. We're killing the Roche. The enemies know about it, and there's nothing that you can do. It is a power play. You feel good about it because they're helpless. Still, the goal lead being only 3k goes to show that Tundra are playing the map well. They are using the resources well, and they're still in the game because the SF gets the BKB, the SF gets the Hurricane Pike, and still fine. And there it is. Saksa goes for the ward. He's quite happy with the previous death.
Doing his utmost for Saksa to create the space for the Shadow Fiend. We also just got an Aghanim Scepter for the Void Spirit, so having that silence will help. There's no BKBs available just yet for Yakult's brothers, but they don't feel like they need one. They're encroaching into the Radiant side of the map right now. Full court press, but nobody home. Tundra playing very, very carefully, especially because they just finished the BKB, it looks like, for the Shadow Fiend.
I think Yakult's brothers could have been a little bit more greedy with their approach. Saksa, can one hero kill him? Yeah, more than enough damage on Emo. So what they've been doing is playing a lot together. A lot of it is by hunting down Saksa, but overall, I think greedier would have been better. They could have increased the lead more. Now they're going in.
We find the Tusk first. The damage from Loranov is going to be there, and they managed to get through him. Fly is all alone right now. He does get access to the ultimate with Zeal rolling in, creating the space. Loranov is in trouble, but no, he gets bounced to the low ground, away from the troll. That'll keep him alive. And they burst through the Aegis.
Tundra is back. They're gonna chase.
Getting a big thing. Yeah, they need to get these chases, and Yakult's brothers are aware of this. They're retreating immediately from this area.
Smart. Very, very smart. But again, Saksa is just getting all the wards down.
Dead shot from Baboka. It hits Saksa. Saksa might actually end up dead. The Requiem from Saika will try to keep him alive, but it only trips onto the Muerta. The track kill, will it end up happening? No. They gotta get away from this. Back wall was also dropped by 33. Fly being prevented from running through the wall itself, but now they have the angle potentially to jump forward with Paulison. Thinking about it, but they don't want to take too many risks. And Fly, another power plays. Like, I can just walk through your vacuum wall and not care about what the damage of the illusion does to me.
Tundra are winning the vision game, but they're losing in every single part. They get the ward down, they have a ward of their own, they see the enemies, and they still die because they're that many times weaker. Now, even though you lost your Aegis, if you get this tier 2 down, it's not going to be bad. There's no glyph. It does look like with all the fervor stacks and the alacrity that will be going down.
Now that he doesn't have the Aegis, Fly is going to start building into a BKB of his own. If he had BKB in that fight, it would have been just straight up impossible for Tundra, but he didn't, so they were at least able to claim the Aegis. It's something, it's not great, but you know, it's proof of concept that there are scenarios where you can kill this Fly troll.
But that was with the Invoker being on the other side of the map, hunting the Bounty Hunter. He's going to need some time to get back there, and you still haven't taken a single tower. You have lost the tier 2, making taking of those towers even harder. You can see how desperately Saika is on the top lane trying to do it, and maybe finally you will be able to open up the map. This is huge, right? When you get the first tower down, the map and your possibilities in terms of angles and how you're going to be able to start off fights increase tenfold, right? So finally, Tundra might be able to get themselves a worthwhile fight.
Fly almost did the classic, getting himself and Paulison killed on the Tormi, but they get the shot, goes the way of this Tusk. He's gonna heal right back up in this Ancient camp. He's gonna be chilling. That being said though, they're spending a lot more time playing on their side of the map. Like Tundra might not have been able to claim that many towers like at all in this game, but they haven't lost all their map play just yet. There's still a lot of access to farm. They still have access to their Ancients. They can still play some Dota, even if it's difficult.
When the map first got increased in size, I thought that the Invis heroes are just gonna be so big because there's a limited amount of sentries, the map is too huge, and they're giving way too much info. But it just wasn't the type of meta that was being played. Now with the Bounty Hunter coming back into it, we can see just the power of not being able to cover the entirety of the map. And even if you do, then you don't have it for the D ward. That's a nice ward that Saksa has left there. So Tundra, they want to go in.
Firefly is right here. He doesn't have his BKB just yet.
Got
They
him?
catch him. He's the first one that they grab, but he will be able to get himself out of here. Zeal with the Rolling Thunder, interrupting the fight and killing off 33, and now they're holding down Psyker. They're tossing him into the air, not allowing the ultimate just yet. He does eventually get it off, but the rest of his team is being torn to shreds by Emo and Flyfly. They end up losing 3. Loranov trying to TP out the Tornado, just shy of clipping him. So he's allowed to escape, but that fight ends up being an absolute disaster for Tundra.
He missed the Ether Remnant. That is why the troll didn't die. You connect with the Ether Remnant, he gets pulled back, SF can do the damage, and it is insane. So while you're chasing the troll, Muerta is standing her ground and killing you. This position for Muerta is killing you, doing the most damage in the fight because you're ignoring her trying to chase the troll. The second that Ether Remnant didn't connect should have been the second that Tundra says, screw this, we have to get out.
They get punished. We end up doubling the gold lead overall for Yakult's brothers. And they're now starting to make plays into Tundra's jungle here. Want to take over and then leverage that strength into a tier 2 tower push in the mid lane.
They have an Orchid on the Darkseer. Yeah, nobody's gonna be caught by that when you always have one hero dead.
That's his 10th death of this game. It's very unfortunate, very unfortunate. At the same time, look at they found. This is much more important prey though. Florinov, can they kill him off? This time around he gets bounced towards the enemy team instead of away from it. He will end up dead. That's 44 seconds. No buyback available. Is that a dominating streak for the 4 position Mortar? Of course it is in this game.
Yep. This Thunderbolt facet on the Pango, once people are now getting used to it, it's pretty cool, right? You cannot really, especially with the Spirit heroes that are quite popular right now, you cannot get off because you cannot get chain stunned. If you have a BKB, you can maybe get out, but your animation does not allow you to get away from the stun. Every single time that you lift up your arms to move away with the Void Spirit, it's just interrupted by the Rolling Thunder.
Big pressure coming in from Zeal here, and he's building in towards having a basher, so more tools of ensuring no escape from the enemies. Looks like his Aghanim Scepter is practically complete right now, 200 gold away, so he's going to have that very, very shortly. So not only do you have to deal with the tankability issues, man, the damage output from Yakult's brothers is starting to get a little bit scary for my liking.
Yep, it is looking pretty good for them. I mean, when you have 2 kills in 25 minutes, what can you expect? And Tundra, they understand that their lineup needs to fight. It's now or never. This Orchid, you don't use it, it's gonna be a problem.
They're smoked up. Dire Scan, it's not gonna trigger onto these heroes. They seem to have a decent idea of the fact that the smoke is indeed coming. It's only a question of will they try to play into it, especially now that they just got this Aghanim Scepter for Pango. Saksa kills off the courier. Okay, that'll reveal where they are at. And at the very least, Yakult's brothers will not take that bait and end up in a bad fight. But what you should do, everybody at home, y'all should make sure you take our bait here at BB Dacha Dota 2 by Fissure. Hit the follow button on Twitch and across all socials for exclusive updates. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons as well, regardless of where you're at. So get involved with BB Dacha Dota 2. And maybe you, even one day, can be as good as Yakult's brothers are looking right now as they go onto the tier 2 tower in the top lane.
Saika is keeping up in terms of farm, so he still does have the damage to kill almost everybody, but he needs the rest of his team to survive for a long period of time so that he doesn't have to use the BKB at the very start. And poor Saksa, what is that, number 11?
There's no way out of this one, buddy. Emo on a godlike streak. Very casually, Popoka as well, getting the root out onto this Clockwork, interrupting him with the dead shot. Whitemon will end up dead, and Flyfly is on a killing spree as well.
Saksa liked the intro video of his team, especially the 33 jersey, a lot more than we did. So he's chasing the number from 1 to 33. We'll see if he makes it there.
Speaking of 33, needs a BKB at some point as well to have better impact in these fights. And they still haven't been able to find a good catch with this Orchid to make a fight happen for themselves.
At this point, you won't even be getting it, right? A lot of the people are gonna have ways to deal with it. Invoker in itself having a Hurricane Pike is mostly gonna be safe. Again, an Ether Remnant can pull you into your death, but that's... At this point now, it's starting to be hard for Tundra to get together without the waves being shoved in a lot. Sure, the Iron Shell has been helping you thus far, but when you lose all of your tier 2s, it becomes increasingly difficult to control the map.
They draw the line, though, to do a big wraparound play into Yakult's brothers. They don't want to be forced into that situation where you're just slowly losing the game with no counterplays, but at the same time, this map remains terrifyingly dark. Let's see here. Okay, if they were looking at the wave, yeah, they pinged it. They saw the Iron Shell. They know what's coming. They know it's coming. Yakult's brothers will be ready.
They had the idea, let's see. And they're just gonna be running in with Fly.
Fly going in, Whitemon hoping to get a catch with the clockwork, but the cogs miss entirely, and he's already down to half HP. Fly putting in the right-click damage, and they kill the clock. And 33 already dropped down the wall. So Fly can just walk away from it.
Run, Tundra.
This is not what they need for Tundra. They need to get out of here now.
They are. So here's the thing, what both teams are trying to do. Tundra is trying to force out the Troll BKB or the ulti, and Yakult's brothers are trying to force out the SF BKB. SF BKB is the only thing that allows Tundra to win a fight. They have to keep it for a very long time. He needs to get a couple of hits in, maybe even secure a kill before he pops his BKB.
Emo's not with his team right now. He's actually all alone.
Coming.
His team is on the way. Zeal will make some space, but it's not going to be enough. They find a rare moment of weakness. The rest of his squad was busy roshing. So they kill off Emo. Lorinov grabs himself 1,500 gold, man. That is exactly what they needed. Now here comes Whitemon. The ice shot, but he doesn't manage to get the full combination out. Eventually it comes, but he is dead before he can make a big impact. He did try. It was a cool attempt. And if he had any assistance, if Lorinov was there, they could have maybe gotten a couple kills in that situation.
They have 3 kills and they're still in the game. It's 30 minutes in. 6 kills is not insurmountable with this second row. Yakult's brothers, they need to do a lot. We talked about the drafts on both sides and the ability to kite the troll that is coming, and the win probability is starting to swing back towards Tundra. It was like 15% earlier. They're getting it back slowly.
Slowly but surely. We still have to play into a Roche, into an Aegis. And the Aegis carrier himself, Fly, he's here. They have vision of Psycho. And Saksa, dude, this is what I want my support player to do. Go and sacrifice yourself, my friend. Create the space for me to escape. You know, this is one of those games where if you just look at his death tally for Saksa, it does not tell the story of this game whatsoever.
Yeah, but you as the real carry player that you are, you're still gonna flame him. Like, why does my bounty hunter have 0-12 or 1-12, whatever? We know what kind of people you are. You don't you don't appreciate us supports at all.
Listen, I only flame my supports if I have a combative score, like if I'm actually involved in a lot of these fights and he's dying too much, then I'm mad. But if I'm just been farming quiet, if I'm 1-1-1 at this point and he's tanked all the deaths, I'm like, bro, thank you for your service, my G.
Okay, that's fair. That's a lie, probably, because we all know it. But anyways, it's he really has been doing a good job, Saksa. Under the circumstances, like, what is my role in this game? I don't know. I need to find the purpose, and he has been doing it quite well. Even that invoker kill, it all came down to him being everywhere on the map and constantly being annoying, so they would want to kill him.
Well, they definitely do want to kill him. They're on top of him right now, and this should be fairly straightforward. The ice shots pushed him away from the Sunstrike, but will not matter.
It's so sad when your 4-staff gets cancelled by a whirling axis on the troll. It purges off, 4-staff can be purged, and then you just suddenly stop there. He might have even been able to get away there if the full 4-staff came through.
Unfortunately for him, that is not the case. Another death, but hey, Psycho, using that space, man. Look at his inventory. Hurricane Pike, BKB, Mask of Madness, Daedalus. He's only about 1,500 gold behind this troll. This SF is still crazy strong in the game.
The problem is the 6-second BKB. Right, that's the main thing. It just forces you to wait for the last moment. And Whitemon waiting for the last moment with his TP. That's not gonna end well.
Dies, but at least he's dying on the dire side of the map, so not going to be losing real estate off the strength of this.
It's bad that the ward went down. Every single ward that Tundra are losing is a big deal. And now Yakult's brothers, they have a gem. They understand what's up. You have this bounty that has been annoying to you. He's been placing some deep vision that has been giving chances for Tundra to farm aggressively on the map, even when generally that should not be allowed. Yakult's brothers are getting to a point where they're just going to be cleanly able to end this game, especially Aghanim Scepter on the Tusk is next on the menu, kicking people back, getting him into an uncomfortable situation is a big deal. And let's say SF pops his BKB at a perfect moment, you kick the baby away, and he's not going to be doing anything.
Banner drop down. They're going to try and make this push happen. Laranov with his jump, able to do quite a bit of damage. There's the vac wall. They get the snowball out of this Tusk, but Fly has already escaped this high ground. Looks like the initial wave of this push for now will be resisted. However, all of these spells will not last forever. At some point, the wall will go down, but at the very least, they do destroy the banner in the process.
They're sending the Tusk, it seems, on the bottom lane to finish off his Aghanim Scepter. So as soon as he's seen there, you are going to be running away. So there it is. Blink Ags on the Tusk. It is hunting time. Now breaking the high ground is going to be a lot easier for Yakult's brothers.
They did not see the Aghanim Scepter. He kept all of it being built up in his inventory. So they probably suspect he's going for that item, but they cannot be sure that he has it right now. So Paulison wants to give them a very nasty surprise. 33. He does manage to skate past them here. He's invis, the dangerous place. They kick back onto Laranov. They want the Void Spirit and they are going to get him. No buyback available for Laranov. 33 right now being stunned up on the high ground by Zeal. The eye shot prevents him from getting out with his BKB, but at the same time, Psyker showing off his strength as the Shadow Fiend, almost killing off Fly, and with the vacuum there, they nearly bring him down. Aegis will finally be taken away. But he's coming back for life too. He has a BKB at the ready. Psyker pops his own BKB. It's inside the high shots. He gets kicked in back towards where Fly is at, who pops a BKB, fighting in through the Requiem. Finally, the SF is vulnerable. Fly should have the damage, and with Baboka's help, they find him. No buyback available for the SF. And once they kill off Saksa, that should probably signal the end of the game. Only one hero remaining to somehow defend against 5. And they got absolutely nothing out of that fight there, Harry.
Yeah, only the Aegis of Fly, right? And there were good moments there for Tundra where the Darkseer is surviving. The SF is doing the damage, but the SF is the only one that is doing the damage, and that is the real issue, because he is the only hero that has anything in this game. Big vacuum wall.
Vacuum with Laranov there. A big step forward, and the Resonant Pulse. They managed to bring down 2, one of them being Fly. Emo running away. They do not have the reveal for him. So he will get out. Whitemon looking for the angle. They get Baboka. They interrupt the TP. This Muerta is carrying the gem, carrying the vision reveal. Can they find this kill? Aether Remnant from Laranov doesn't connect. Baboka doing his best to juke and jive, but it will not be enough. 3 heroes dead, and lose a lane of racks, but they exploit Yakult's brothers so greatly with that vacuum.
What? He brought the courier and took the gem away. That kill, really nobody cares about it, because of course you care about the earlier 2 kills that were there with the vacuum wall, but they chase down this Muerta because this gem changes everything, and they still save it. The second he saw things were going badly, he started flying out his courier and he gets it off. But Tundra, they know that this is the time to go for more.
Go for it though. Whitemon find himself getting kicked in towards the base. Laranov though will be there to render aid. They get out this Tusk for now. Emo is right next to Paulison. There is a track out onto the Tusk, and he will finally die. Emo forced into popping his BKB just for safety. Hoping to get a catch onto Laranov, but he has an Astral Step available in a second. Gets it off onto the low ground, and he's going to be A-OK. And we started this series of engagements inside the Radiant base, but all of a sudden, here we are fighting at the tier 2 spot on the dire side.
Even on the tier 3 spot. They went through the defender's gate there and still tried to get something. Got the Tusk, got the Invoker BKB. That is all great. The thing is, you saw the SF was dead and that he was the only one doing damage in the previous fight. You're thinking, we can do whatever the hell we want, but we know who the king of team fights is in this game, and that's the Darkseer. They pretty much destroyed him. Now we see just how vulnerable Yakult's brothers are without the BKB or the ulti on the troll. He can be bursted down even without the SF present.
That fight is also a demonstration of how much they could have been assisted by like a pair of GG boots, a pipe. They don't have any defensive items really on the side of Yakult's brothers. So you can still find yourself being exploited in moments like that.
Yeah, I think the Darkseer went for the wall cooldown talent, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he did. That's why he had it so early, right? Because he had it in the mid lane and then for the push in the bottom lane. That is what surprised Yakult's brothers.
Emo is starting to build himself up into a Shiva's guard right now. And they are, I think, going to try and control this top part of the map so they can get the upcoming Roshan. It would be an absolute disaster if at this stage of the game, Tundra were able to claim an Aegis for themselves.
And their lineup is very good at fighting Roche. At this point, they might just have enough to deal with it. The problem is Troll has this Abyssal Blade, so if the SF wants to BKB ulti, it is going to be very hard. Earlier, he got lucky that there were no bashes when it came out, and it still didn't matter inside of the fight. But imagine if every single time you have a way to cancel it out, and it's not only the Tusk that can do it.
Yeah. Satanic complete for Psyker with the BKB, the Daedalus, the Hurricane Pike. They have to know that soon is going to be all about this Roshan. So Tundra, they're having that conversation amongst themselves. They're going to keep peppering the area with rocket flares, try gain some vision. And this rocket flare right now, so we'll scout out that Roshan is not available just yet.
They need to deal with the side waves. Sure, the mid lane is the one that you lost and you need to shove out the super creeps, but generally the tier 4s versus mid super creeps deal quite well. Because even when they're destroying the buildings, the towers are killing the creeps. So you need to focus on the side lanes right now, because that is where the action is going to be at because of the Roche.
Game is getting very tense right now. We're 38 minutes in. It's an 11k gold lead for Yakult's brothers, but Tundra have shown that one big fight can change the whole game.
Lorinov wants a Lincoln Sphere. SF would like a butterfly, but I think Lincoln's versus this Tusk is a necessity, right? The Walrus kick is creating so many issues. Yakult's brothers couldn't go high ground before they got that one. Bam, they get the item, suddenly they got the Laner Rex. You need to deal with it.
Very scary, intense moment for Tundra. And Yakult's brothers, they also are not too happy with having to just wait around here. Would love for the Roshan to come as soon as possible. Force a fight for the Tundra, because whilst they still have the high ground advantage.
So creeps are coming in through the mid lane. Yakults are aware about this, but as I mentioned, mid lane super creeps can be dealt with. See, they're killing the buildings. They're gonna die to the tower. With the next wave of creeps, that not even that building will go down possibly.
Tundra though obviously can't be super happy all about this though. Doesn't feel good to see the waves just peppering in over and over and over again, but they will deploy a little bit of movement there. 33 will go pop an Ion Shell. Hope it clears out as much of the wave as possible.
The Naghanim Scepter Roche, not great for Yakult's brothers, right? I guess you get the Cataclysm, but that's fine. Would they give it to Muerta? No, they're going out. They might just want to get a refresher and the cheese. It's better for them this game.
Lorinov showed himself a little bit on this wave. Both teams know where the other is at, but nobody wants to be the one to make the full jump. They don't have perfect vision of the area. Invoker with the Fort Spirits trying to create that vision. Whitemons flying forward, maybe hoping to force out a fight here. Doesn't connect onto anybody, however, just going to be forced to back up.
They're gaining ground. That's what you're doing. So you get first to the twin gate, and some of them get caught.
Will they get there? Lorinov, he finds himself getting tornadoed into the air. Zeal creating space with this Rolling Thunder, trying to catch onto the cores while Fly just demolishes Whitemon on the clockwork.
Psyker is back.
Sunstrike doesn't connect onto 33, but still, 33 will end up dead. And Psyker, yeah, he returns, but his team is in tatters as he watches Lorinov die in front of his face. He's caught by the Abyssal Blade. BKB active or no, his life will be forfeit. Now that the BKB is over, he has no way to protect himself. He will pop the Requiem, yeah, it looks cool, sure, but will it be effective? Absolutely not. He ends up dead. Yakult's brothers, they win the fight, and Will they go through the twin gate? Yes, they will. Of course they do. They want to go bottom. They want this Aegis. They want to start working on ending this game.
Not everybody went to the twin gate at the same time, and then Saika was on the bottom lane contemplating, should I go back or allow my teammates to die? And then he went back like a man, but he did go down. Unfortunately, also his Requiem onto the Troll. Troll has the Aesthetics cap and the SNY. He didn't have the BKB at that point. I thought, oh, maybe he goes through the Requiem and TP out. Maybe he can survive, but the fear lasted maybe a second on the Troll, and then he could go for the bashes and make sure that the SF was not going to escape.
How different that fight could have been if Saika was there from the beginning, able to put in that damage, but coming as he did, it becomes complicated, and now 33 might be joining his compatriot in the fountain as he gets killed off. 100 seconds without buyback. He died back for this. He bought back for a defense prior. It doesn't matter right now, as tier 3 tower is going to be going down. A second lane of racks should be claimed. And I have no idea how Tundra hold on for the remainder of this game.
Not like this.
Also getting himself kicked back towards the rest of the gang. He is killed off, but unlike many of his team, he does at least have buyback.
Did he get to 20? That's no, only 15. Okay, Saksa didn't really die all that much in the late game. You didn't use the glyph. You're gonna have 4 versus 5, but your main team fighter is dead.
Have to be an incredible jump from Whitemon and Lorinov, but Saksa, he gets jumped first. They throw him back towards the team. He dies back immediately. The duel does allow them to kill off this task, but now Saika, he's the one that's in danger. Does force them to back up from him whilst he pops his BKB, but this BKB will not last forever. Lorinov, he's the one in danger right now. Has an Astral Step at the ready. We'll go for the Dissimulate first and foremost, and the Requiem already used, but it's just to make space for the Void Spirit, not really to threaten these Yakup's brothers' heroes.
It's over. We talked about the how the fights need to go. You either force the BKB on the Troll and his ulti, and now he has a Refresher plus both of it available.
Lorinov, Yakult's brothers will catch him with the Abyssal Blade. They burst him down. Void Spirit is out of town, and somehow this SF, he realizes that, you know what, 1v5 is not really going to happen. And they call it GG, well played, is going to be dropped. And we have game 1 going in the direction of Yakult's brothers. Not the best debut for Tundra Esports with this new roster, but man, it feels good to be a Chinese fan right now.
They got crushed in the laning phase mostly, right? That is the one where they underestimated their opponents. We kind of highlighted Saksa 33, let's go Yakult's brothers. They came prepared. They got rid of 33's heroes when they saw the bounty hunter. They probably expected the Darkseer just as we did, and they had the right way to approach it. We talked about running around circles around the Troll, but Tundra never got to a point where they could fight. Even when they got their item timings, even when they felt stronger, the map control was so in favor of the other side that you were never allowed to get yourself a fight.
One thing I really like about what Yakult's brothers did is, even when they were ahead, they recognized that the easiest way for Tundra to come back in this game is like pick-offs on the map, some small skirmishes with these track kills stacking up. So what do we do to deny them that? The classic, baby. We play as 5. There's a large portion of this game where like they could have played greedier, but they made the executive decision, let's frustrate the enemy team's playstyle. If we just play our game, given how good our start is, we don't really need to be that greedy on the map. We can just force them into fighting on our terms instead of us fighting on theirs.
Yep, very smart from them, and they would only wait when Tundra would go very, very deep. And Saksa did do a solid job in making sure that they have that deep vision, but if you have super deep vision without a single tower being taken, once you smoke, it takes you a long time to get to that point, and then every single time it is very easy for Yakult's brothers to read exactly what's going on.
Yep. Perfectly read. Great play overall coming in from the Yakult's brothers crew, securing them this first game. And I also like that when they felt they were able to be strong and go high ground, it's like you mentioned, as soon as they got that Aghanim Scepter on the tusk, they're like, there's nothing to stop us. We just jump them, force them out the base, easy kills for us. I really like what they did here in this game, and this must create some issues for the side of Tundra, because they did exactly what you mentioned, Yakult's brothers. Pretty much all the bans in the first phase and at the beginning of the second phase were focused on 33. You gave him his Darkseer, it was supposed to be a good game, it didn't work out that way. So now the question is, if Yakult's brothers stick to that same ban pattern, then what? What do you do going into game 2?
Well, you tried with the bounty hunter approach. I mean, I wouldn't like for them to give up on it, but maybe if you're going for it, then go for a high magical damage dealing position 5, because it was obvious in this one that Yakult's brothers are gonna exploit the fact that you are putting a lot of emphasis into your Darkseer doing the real damage, and then you crush the Darkseer in the lane, you take away everything. You didn't only ban out every single one of his heroes, you also, he was a key part of this draft, and you went for it. So if 33 heroes are targeted, don't make him the centerpiece of your draft. Maybe that's the best approach that you could have.
That makes sense to me. That certainly makes sense to me. This was a very topsy-turvy game. We almost got to 20 deaths for this bounty hunter. Unfortunately, we didn't reach that particular point. It would have been fun. It would have been very fun if that had happened. But
for whom, man?
not
For
gonna be in
whom?
this case.
For you China fans, right? For the European fans, I don't think it's too fun, and definitely wasn't fun for Saxa.
That definitely was not the most fun game in the world for Saxa. Was fun for us though to watch and witness, and of course that is the opening game of BB Dacha Dota 2. A very fun opening game, but of course that fun is brought to you by FISSURE, you know, the tournament operator and broadcast studio here, and we are going to be making sure that you at home are entertained over the next few days. So do your part. Make sure that you are following every single place you can find us. Follow us on Twitch, follow on the socials, and be as entertained as we are with this BB Dacha Dota 2 tournament. And that was game 1. Tell me, Harry Freak, before we go on a break, what do you anticipate happening in game 2? Can Yakult's brothers keep this run of momentum going?
I think they can. I think they can. I didn't have much faith in how they were gonna play the early mid game with this lineup, but that is just the thing, that if you don't have to be that good in the mid game with your lineup if you crush the laning stage. So I think in terms of preparation that China teams always have that ready, and they're possibly prepared for Tundra. Yakult's brothers, you don't really have too many games to go off on.
Yeah. One thing that concerns me looking at those stats there is the damage numbers on the side of the Tundra lineup. We saw obviously Lorinov putting in some work, but Saika, despite how much farm was sitting on the Shadow Fiend, only able to deal out 19k damage. That's something we definitely want to see differently. You know, we can understand why, you know, he was forced into having to buy BKB, waiting for this Darkseer to set him up for the fights, but they have to fix that going into game 2. I don't know if it's maybe give him a more active hero or the rest of the team plays more active, but you can't give him this much net worth and have that little impact coming out of that farm.
Yep, definitely. The thing is, though, with an SF or any hero like that, you have a lot of farm, but you still need somebody to allow you to turn that farm into damage. There was just nothing like that on the side of Tundra in this game, because everybody was severely underfarmed.
Yeah.
Send us to a break. Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back, one and all. We are here for some more BB Dacha Dota 2 action. Some incredible Dota has already been seen, and of course, we are gearing up for more throughout the rest of the day. The group stages so far, Tundra versus Yakult brothers, looked very spicy. We all thought, let's be honest, that Tundra would grab game one, but they didn't. And that is why we have an entertaining tournament to come. Of course, this is Fissure, so make sure if you aren't already that you are following us on all our socials, and make sure that you are, especially here on Twitch, following and get exclusive updates about everything that's happening within the tournament. Brother Harry Freak, hometown hero, Tundra needs your help, my G. Last game, you said Yakult's brothers should just ban 33 heroes. They listened, they did that, they win the game. Now you need to give advice to the other lineup, my G. What does Tundra need to do game two?
No, we kind of poked at it a bit before we went to the break. Not make him the centerpiece. I think that's the main part. I think 33 in general is used to his hero being very much important. I mean, of course, as a position 2, you're going to be important, but here everything revolves around the Darkseer. If the Darkseer is having a bad game, everybody else is having a bad game, because you have 4 melee heroes that depend on his auras to survive and on his Iron Shell to do the damage, and then they destroyed him in the lane. So what do you have left? The answer is nothing. Then you just have to farm and hope that at some point your team fight will prevail. They did a good job dodging on the map, stuff like that, but really they couldn't get any kills. How many did they have in the end? Like 4, 5, 6, I don't know, something not that high, and it just showed that. So we'll see how they can make it happen. 33 has played in so many teams, and I still remember I even forgot what was the upgraded lads item name. I deleted it from my memory.
Oh, the Wraith Pact.
Yeah, the Wraith Pact, and every single time his hero was the main one, because Wraith Pact was the main item. Then you had this Aura meta. Again, his hero very important right now. You considering that you're being targeted this heavily, maybe change that up, or because I'm looking at his pubs, he really doesn't have that much versatility at this point. I know that he can play a lot of heroes, but considering in the last 8 days he's only played 6 different heroes in pubs, shows that he just values those more than the other ones.
Yep, he is a creature of habit, it seems. Just wants to be as comfortable as possible, give his team the best chances to win through that comfort. So we'll see how it ends up going for them in the second game. I do think another avenue of change that I would like to see, after they picked up the Invoker, Yakult's brothers, of course, banned the Puck. Puck would have been so good for this game. Like, if it was Puck instead of the Void Spirit, all of a sudden you have much better team fight, but you're also risking the Puck's life every time it goes into these engagements in the same way that you risk the life of the Void Spirit. So I think they need to definitely make sure that Lorinov gets a hero he can be more active on, right? Because I don't know if you remember, but there was this period of time where just before he got his Aghanim Scepter, he was doing literally nothing on the map, like just farming. So I want a hero that can bridge that gap in between the mid lane not going so well, but the SF needing all that farm.
He didn't even get a single point in the Aether Remnant. It just goes to show how he didn't want anything to do with anyone, right? Just put his little hat on and go fishing, right? Because this does look like a fishing hat.
Yeah. Well, we are now going into our second draft of the day. Yakult's brothers taking on Tundra Esports. The bans are a little bit different, though. Yakult's brothers, they have banned out this time around the Naga Siren and the Shadow Demon, leaving in 33 heroes, and they're gonna only ban out his Visage. Everything else is still left in the pool for him.
Okay, so when they don't have the first pick, Yakult's brothers have a different approach. That is cool. That to me shows that they're super prepared. A lot of the teams lately, what I've been seeing in terms of the first ban phase, they are losing a lot of reserve time. And Yakult's brothers in this game didn't lose any. So they knew exactly, if this, we are banning this. If this, we are banning this. So they had a really cool approach. And they're going to start off with the Lorinov Storm Spirit. A lot of the teams that Lorinov has played in, there was an approach to the draft where they would first pick his Storm Spirit. This is his, I'd say maybe even his best hero. And this is something he played a lot when he was in a Serbian team, though he wasn't in Belgrade, but he was in a Serbian team. In Level Up, he played the Storm Spirit quite a lot when he was here in the country last time.
That being said, if there's any team on planet Earth who knows how to deal with a first pick Storm Spirit, it's any team that has emo on it, right? With that guy, how many times when you were on IG, they would do the same thing, right? No matter what the opposition had done, They first pick Storm Spirit. Even if it gets hard countered, you still end up winning the game. So Yakult's brothers will certainly have an idea of how to approach this draft. Right now, though, we just get some laning prowess, get ourselves this Ench, a hero that can scale in damage later on in the game as well. And a hero which Storm doesn't really like playing into, right?
No, listen to me. It's very hard asking specialist players what they don't like playing against, right? Because maybe if you ask Emo, like, what is Storm bad against, and he's like, nothing. I just win versus everything. So that could be an issue. Hopefully, he does have some things that he's not too happy to play against with the Storm, so that he can give some info to his team in this regard.
That would be so funny. He's just like, guys, the hero's bastard. I can't tell you anything.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we lost.
bro.
Just go next. Why did we allow them to first pick the Storm?
Tundra last game out, they banned out the Storm itself. And we have a Doom ban into a Nyx Assassin pick. Okay. I imagine the Doom ban is not about the Nyx because, normally as Nyx Assassin, you're fine playing into him. This does mean that we're not going to be having that much damage out of our supports for a while, and it looks like we're going to be having a more pick-off oriented draft coming in from Yakult.
They defended the Enchantress with this. They defended the Enchantress with the Doom ban, and they defended it with the Nyx pick. Also, Boboka does play quite a lot of Nyx, and it can generally be very, very good versus the Storm Spirit. So I really like how they approached it. They pretty much did everything. Targeted 33's heroes, one of his favorite ones. They protected their Enchantress with 2 of the picks. Now you don't really have something to directly deal with the Enchantress. You don't want to pick your Beastmaster because there's an Enchantress. This is some genius drafting coming out from the China side.
I mean, yes, last game you were also mentioning the Nature's Prophet, right, as a potential carry in the game. Now you even if you do pick Nature's Prophet, you're not going to go for that Iron War talent or the Facet. So I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, but it
also sets up potentially for that, like, Emo could play Invoker again, right? We've seen that combination before of Nyx plus Invoker.
Yes.
How crazy it is across the map.
Yeah. People have gotten very good at setting up with the Tornado into an Impale. So Tundra, different approach this time around. They want blood, man. So you have a Clockwork, you have a CM. These heroes are just going to be running forward, and they somewhat do contribute quite a lot to the damage early on. So the Storm Spirit can't get kills. So we can expect Tundra Esports to want to be very active. But if they are put in a situation like last game, late game Crystal Maiden, if you're not getting kills and just farming, you're not really going to be that great. So you want to be murdering people for sure.
Do they potentially just make sure that the CM follows the Enchantress lane? You just take away the creep with the Frostbite?
It came to my mind, but generally you do want it in the safe lane, and we'll see. Because if you send the CM to your off lane, let's say Nyx Assassin, he finds an opening to go through the twin gates, your CM is every single time dead. So I'm leaning more towards Saksa just playing this Clockwork, but we'll see. You never know. Maybe they really think that this Enchantress needs to be dealt with.
The classic Yakult's brothers going for the Morphling. When they were on IG, it was always a toss-up as to whether or not it would be Emo or Flyfly playing this hero. I haven't seen a mid-Morphling in a very, very, very long time. Pretty much since Emo, basically. So I doubt that that's going to be what they do here. In this game, waveform out of the cogs. You can get the Manta out of this Frostbite. You know, just become one of the biggest, baddest heroes in the map, because I'm looking at the burst damage from Tundra is not really there. So how do you prevent this Morphling from just shifting all the way up and getting out of your initiation?
So now you have to deal with the Morphling. I think considering for all the reasons that you mentioned, you need a good carry matchup versus it. So something that comes to mind is a Drow, but the other heroes are pretty decent versus the Drow. The Enchantress will take down your towers. The Pango will get into your face. Is there anything else, like maybe an Ursa, Alchemist, that you can go for if you're Nightfall? It's not an easy Morphling to draft into by any means.
There was a Drow game I played not that long ago where I played into a Pango, and the way I dealt with it is I just went for the Glacier, and then you just like, it's actually really funny because he bounces back off the Glacier and then you get that high ground to pepper him with right clicks. It's pretty hilarious. But they will go for the much easier route. Don't have to think about it all that much. We get ourselves a Blood Suka. get the roll ruptured out with all the damage there. It's a hero that can also play fairly fast in the earlier portions of the game, so you can try and push the tempo, press your advantage on the map before this Morphling becomes unstoppable.
That's gonna be a carry most likely. I don't. Maybe you play an offlane Seeker. I'm thinking about it. I don't know if that's really 33's style. And yeah, they are banning 33 heroes. So overall, it's not like a big counter to the Morphling. But what this hero does do is he murders the Nyx early on in the fight if he has a BKB, and he does counter the Pango. So you murder the Nyx, you make sure that the Pango doesn't really do all that much with this Rolling Thunder, and then if the Morph is isolated without Rolling Thunder, without the Nyx Assassin, maybe you can deal with him. It's not a bad approach, but I think it's you trying to salvage Yakult's brothers' genius drafting thus far, and Yakult's brothers, they're the ones with the last pick. Plus this time around, maybe you just get the double jump with the Pango.
Yeah, you might have to. If you go for the super fast one, it's problematic against this Bloodseeker. What are we going here for Tundra? What's 33 want to play? Beastmaster still in the pool. You know, get some BKB players at the table. Primal Beast, perhaps. Okay, it's gonna be Beast
versus an Enchantress. Okay, so Tundra went for comfort, and I'm okay with this, but they were trying to stay away from him. Is that a dirty mid Viper? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Yeah, yesterday you asked me if I liked green heroes. This is the one that I hate quite a lot, and Storm Spirit hates playing versus range heroes that slow you. Like Veno and Viper in the mid lane destroy him. This is gonna be a rough one for Lorinov.
Well, fortunately, we have yet again contrast between us because I love Viper, love watching it play. I'm very excited to see Emo put some work in onto this mid lane.
Okay,
it's so much fun to play, dude. Griefing the enemy when you can just see, like, just by the way they're moving in the lane, that they're just unhappy. Man, that makes me feel good.
Okay, so I remember the days when I was in PC game clubs and I would play a Viper in the mid lane and just destroy somebody else, but he's very close to me, and then I come up, I look at his face, and then that's fine. But when I'm playing online, sure, through his movements, you can see that he's mad, but it doesn't have the same satisfaction. So in online gameplay, I don't get it. But this is a LAN, so yeah, I can understand why Emo would want to play. Then after the game, you go on and you shake Lorinov's hand, and you see that he doesn't want to live anymore.
You can see he's tilted in his eyes. He's like, really, bro? Like, what the hell, man? I mean, he's probably pre-tilted. When you know that you have to play into a Viper lane, you're just like, oh, well, this is going to be a tough one, gang. And wait, I'm going to need some help.
They have a Clockwork and a CM. So Clockwork can't really get close to the Viper that easily. CM, maybe if the Viper overextends, both of these supports would have to rotate to the mid lane to kill him. You don't have like a Tusk on your side, and Earth Spirit, something along those lines that can close the gap and really punish the Viper if he's being overly aggressive. This Storm is going to have a really bad time, and we can expect the Viper maybe to get an early ATOS just to make sure that he ruins his game completely.
Yep.
Plus,
also, you know, if you get an ATOS in this game, the root serves double duty, right? Not just like being good against enemy teams individually, but now you can set up for the Morphling to steal the Bloodseeker form. All of a sudden, you got a silence on top of that with the Blood, right?
Yep, and not only that, you have the break with your ulti, right? People tend to forget about that one, but Seeker getting broken is a big deal. Suddenly your race car like and bam, you get stopped in your tracks, right? You go from 600, 700 movement speed to 300. It's sad.
Yeah. Certainly not going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination for Tundra, but they're trying to draw out this series, make this 1-1. They do not want to be in that position where you're starting off a group stage 0-2, knowing that you might get eliminated. Not great, not great. So we're into it, and we need to see the best out of them in the situation, and we need to see especially better lanes than they had in game 1.
In terms of lanes, Seeker should have a good time, but I think this last big Beastmaster is the one that might struggle. Is it Saksa on the Clockwork? Yep, 2 melee heroes. You are gonna be needing to do some shenanigans in that lane, but maybe you're gonna get into that point where you know it's not gonna be good, so you just do everything in your power to dodge the lane, which is something they didn't do in the previous one. Just had a bad read, thought that the extra armor is gonna help you versus the Tusk.
We are now underway. 2-2 on the bounty runes. This time around, no first blood automatically gained for Yakult's brothers. And so we can just kick things off. Baboka will see Saika, who was clearing out the latter portion of the wave. What can you do?
Back him.
Saika's like, nothing you can do about this when Baboka's in your face there. Sad times.
Yep. You get annoyed. Next assassin with this Mind Flare has become so good in helping his people in lane. If you do not have a hero that can literally kill you, it's a problem. But CM is a murdering hero, and same is true for the Bloodseeker as well. So the Nyx assassin can be brought to from honor to 0 in this lane, and that is the type that you want versus the Nyx, because he has not that much armor, not that much HP, but very good regen. So if you're just poking him, it's not gonna work.
I mean, we've seen that combination in the past, right? Frostbite into Blood Rites. It's very problematic to deal with. Bottom lane, Fly just gonna find himself getting harassed a little bit by Saksa, but ultimately should be a-okay. Now this is, as much as I do love this Yakult's Brothers draft, I've got too many rough memories of Fly morphling, so I need to make sure that he has the same performance as he did in game 1. Basically, you're not allowed to make any mistakes here.
I think lane should be easy for him. That is not where the problem should lie. Later on down the line, before he gets his Manta, I think is an issue. So maybe between minutes 10 and 15 is where Tundra are going to be looking to make a move on him. Just as you mentioned, hopefully he doesn't make mistakes in the laning stage and just dies, because that would be disastrous.
Like you're talking about, shenanigans will occur in the laning phase on both sides, in fact.
Yep.
So annoyance being granted by the position force, but that's kind of their job in this game.
Speaking about annoyance, look at the mid lane. Look at poor Lorenov. He has 4 CS. Lucky for him, Emo doesn't have that much mana right now, but you're still gonna be pushed back anyways.
Yeah. This is problematic. Baboka also takes away one of the water runes. Viper takes away the other one. So the Storm Spirit, bottle or no, doesn't really have any further regen for himself in this mid lane.
Viper, did he buy a bottle? I think not. So he has a raid ban, maybe a null tally would be something that he wants if he thinks he needs it. But at this point, with him having this much mana and being level 3, you might not even need it. The storm comes close, you kill him. Dude, he's already in the jungle.
Oh my gosh, not a great time to be the Storm Spirit. It's not like the old days where you had the small camp next to the tier 1 tower middle, where you could at least easily farm from there. He's deep in. He's probably going to have to go all the way back to base. This gives so much time towards Emo in this mid lane. I mean, look at this. 11 denies, 17 lost hits for the Viper here. And there's not really... Who can come middle to help out? Nobody. He's just going to be chilling for himself.
Yeah, we talked about maybe both of the supports rotating, but with the Storm being this far behind, it's not going to change anything. At this point, Lorenov, you are on your own. And you called it. Emo, he does play a lot of Storm. He knows this hero. So what do I hate when I play the Storm? No, what do I hate? I hate playing versus a Viper. Give me a Viper, and well, the result, it's obvious. The Storm is struggling. 15 CS in the jungle. It doesn't amount even close to 15 CS in the lane.
Yep. By the time he feels comfortable coming back into the lane, we're pretty much going to have 4 power trades on this Viper. Good luck at that point, buddy. Good luck.
Good job for 33 in this bottom lane. I can assume that some of those denies. Oh, did wanted to say it's some of the units, but he hasn't taken a single point.
Okay. Saksa just gonna do some shenanigans, play around a little bit, go collect this bounty. But like you say, 33 doing very, very well in the CS department. Out CSing his counterpart in the Morphling in that lane. And he did it despite going for the... Wait, did he get a point into summon? Or did he just go wild access?
Wild access, he didn't get a single point just yet. So, I mean, you understand your Fly's in trouble.
Oh my god, Fly, this isn't what we talked about. No! I've seen that happen too many times in my life. I didn't want to see it happen here. Morphling, he dies all alone and his support was nowhere nearby him. That's when you're supposed to be playing safe in the lane, but push the advantage too much and end up getting extremely punished for it down bottom. It's a first blood for the Beastmaster here.
You think as a Morphling versus a Beastmaster and the Clockwork that you cannot die, but just as you've seen Fly die with the Morphling a couple of times in the lanes in the past, so have we seen a lane that they should lose with 33 and Saksa, that they end up winning.
Gonna kill Zeal's courier. I don't think his life is in any danger here. So, just gonna walk away. Bottom,
Not again.
Fly getting gone on again. He's inside the cogs. No, this cannot
No.
happen twice. Fly doesn't have waveform available. He's morphing for all he's worth. He can escape in about 5 seconds. Can he survive that long? 33 has access coming back up just now. Blood grenade provides the necessary slow, and 33 gets in the damage. That is 2 back-to-back deaths for the Morph. He's gonna have to waddle his watery self back into the lane.
Oh, this is so good for Tundra, right? Because this Morphling, in my mind, should have been at least on par with the Beastmaster. Now you're putting a lot of emphasis into opening up this mid tower, but for you to utilize this tower being down, you need your supports to be level 6, especially the Nyx Assassin. And I don't know if there's going to be anybody who can give him a lane, considering that the Morphling is going to be needing one where it's safe.
Yep. Morphling needs as much time and space as humanly possible. Oh boy. Okay, so part of the problem as well is that Zeal's lane didn't go incredibly, right? And he's going to be a hero that's needed to make the plays with the Rolling Thunder. This Beastmaster's getting pretty farmed himself. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they came bottom with the Bloodseeker, assist the Beastmaster in killing Fly once more.
The Enchantress is now close, right? So he should be fine, but they're bringing in the CM.
CM is here, looking for Fly. They find the route, but 33 a little bit too far away. Cannot find the angle for the Primal Roar.
And he's going for the Aghanim Scepter, so the Beastmaster changed his mind because he's playing versus the Enchantress. So he's going to be going back, and considering that the laning phase went this well, you don't have to pressure the Morphling before his Manta. You've already put him down. You get your Aghanim Scepter on the Beastmaster, and you are going to be very, very hard to bring down. Just keep yourself away from the Viper. And Viper being a pretty mobile hero, and he did go for the power treads. Last I checked, he doesn't have the boots of travel. You are going to be able to dodge him with the Beastmaster. With that, most likely live through any of the damage. Yep, no bots.
I like what I'm seeing. Definitely like what I'm seeing. And Aghanim Scepter shouldn't take too long to be completed by this Beastmaster. The one drawback though for Tundra is that they still have to deal with an incredibly farmed Viper, who might actually get a kill here. 33 is chasing Paulison. Needs to be careful though. The enchant slow will be there as well as the blood grenade. Smoke is coming. Baboka gets in the impale onto Saksa, who will happily give up his life to ensure that 33 stays living.
Yep, pretty nice, pretty nice. They really wanted 33 there. Would have been a great pickup, but unfortunately not gonna happen. Saksa loses a courier. That was a bit of a misplay, but overall nothing too big. And now Yakult's brothers have been able to stabilize this bottom part of the map with the constant Viper threat of him rotating. 33 is keeping himself a little bit away from the Morphling.
Top lane, we do have level 6 right now for Psycho. So Zeal certainly will not be happy about rolling at any given venture. They've even brought in the clockwork. They're thinking about making a jump here onto Zeal. Can they get him? There's the rupture. He's going to be held inside the blood right, trying to get up. He's on the high ground. Can Whitemon find the angle? He cannot, but Saksa can. That being said though, Saksa might have wished that he hadn't done so, as Emo shows up with the AD rune, killing off Saksa. Nice response from Yakult's brothers, and a very nice escape by that Pangolier.
That was very clean spell usage coming out from him. He didn't go for the double jump, so he still has a really speedy Rolling Thunder. He knows that he cannot use it there. He literally dies in a second after he does. So he just swashbuckles and then goes for the shield crash onto the high ground. You can see that his positioning was there, knowing that they wanted his life.
He escapes from that. They don't manage to pressure that tier 1 tower in the top lane, but they will turn their attentions towards the tier 1 tower bottom. 33 working on it. Psycho will come to complete this particular objective on the map. Nothing that Yakult's brothers can do to stop this.
This was expected, right? This is what you wanted to do with the Darkseer in the previous game as well, but you lost the lane so much, and then your tower got pressured first. When you have a Beastmaster, you also want to take the tower down relatively quickly, and they do manage to do it. So Tundra are getting everything they need. Same is true for Yakult's brothers, but of course this Morphling being a little bit behind than what was previously expected does push me to think that Tundra might be a little bit happier with the laning stage thus far.
Whitemon, is he gonna get out of here?
Not really.
He's gonna get slowed down. He is gonna be killed off. And that sucks for the young, very fragile Crystal Maiden. But what doesn't suck for all of us is that we are watching some incredible Dota In case you'd somehow forgotten, this is BB Dacha Dota 2 by Fissure. And make sure wherever you are at right now, follow us on Twitch, follow us on our socials for exclusive updates, and do not forget to hit that button because otherwise you'll be left in the dark.
So now Yakult's brothers, they need that level 6 on the Nyx to really make things happen. I'm liking how Emo is moving around the map. He is not going for 8 toss. He wants to be this right-clicking Viper. Maybe Tundra might be lacking damage. It very rarely happens when you have a Beastmaster on your side. Usually with Aurora, a hero dies. But surrounded by Rolling Thunder and the Nyx, it might go well for him.
They're gonna try to kill off this Enchantress, and there's a good demonstration of some of the damage issues they have at present. Just pop the Nature's Attendants, she is A-okay.
Yep. Tundra, they need to be getting kills. You have this Crystal Maiden now level 5, 3 points in Frostbite. You want to get 1 kill and then go for more. It's similar to a Disruptor, right? But you don't pull them back. You just continue running forward with the CM because you have such a low cooldown spell that brings so much lockdown. But you're okay. This is a big one.
It's a very big one. Very far away from any support available. They kill him off. And this is a Pango that is struggling somewhat in this game. So being able to depress him even further, you certainly feel very good, especially when you know that later on he's still going to struggle regardless of his farm, just due to the fact that there's Rupture in the game.
Yep, for sure. Whatever he has, it's going to be a problem. Unless you get like Lotus Orb Linkens, right? Those items are going to help, but they're not really items that you get early. They're luxury items. When you have in 4K net worth less than a Storm that got completely demolished in a lane, it goes to show that luxury items are not on your mind at the moment.
Right now, you know, he doesn't have in his mind, I can buy a Ferrari or whatever. He's got to go to work at McDonald's, get some money for a Camry. What can you do?
Some money for food. That might be more important than the car, but sure, whatever you feel it's there. I mean, maybe here in Serbia, in Belgrade, we do eat a bit too much, so we're thinking about it too much. Maybe you can get away with just getting a rundown car.
It's Aghanim Scepter now complete, baby! Beastmaster is going to be drumming it up in these upcoming fights. So this will provision some of the damage that they didn't really have before. And also makes him a lot tankier and difficult to bring down for Yakult's bros.
Yep. And let's see. So during daytime, they probably cannot get Roche. And they lost the tier 1 on the top lane. That's big for Yakult's brothers. They need to defend the Roche in the next 2 minutes. And then they're golden with the enemies not having the top tier 1.
Tundra recognized this though. Saksa already pinging out down bottom. And Paulison, is Paulison teaming through the gate? Indeed he is. Oh no, this is going to be an Enchantress not liking what she finds here in this bottom lane. Attendants are out, but even those attendants aren't that strong. Paulison ends up dead. And there is time right now. Saika's not here, but they could consider going down and trying to claim this before it moves to the top side.
They suck at Roche so much though, right? What are your supports bringing to the table? Not that much. Let's see, 33, he wants to go. Okay, so it's just that valuable for the Beastmaster. I think he might even get the Aegis over the Storm.
Normally that is heresy to even suggest that Storm Spirit won't get the Aegis, but given the current game state, could certainly see the rational case for that. And these Drums of Slum already proving to be super value for 33. They get the Roshan, get the Aegis into his hands. And now they're even going to gate through to the top side. They want to make sure that they're not losing any map control.
Zeal has a Blade Mail, so I think the idea here for Yakult's brothers is if I get Rupture, just everybody run to the Darks here. So I think if Saika uses the Rupture on this guy before he has the BKB, just run away, because you are going to be public enemy number 1, probably to this Nyx Assassin as well. You get low and he snipes you. Nice steal of the Wisdom Rune.
Yeah, the Nyx Assassin was busy on the other side of the map trying to facilitate his own steal. Gets caught out, they lose out on both. Now, this advantage for Tundra, it's not that large in the gold department, but that's mostly because of how distorted Emo's net worth is relative to his team. Like, he is basically the carry right now for Yakult's brothers.
Oh, that carry might die. Nice fight.
Oh, very close call. Zeal, it's gonna be a roll onto him by Loranov, but it's not a clean initiation. 33 will just be happy to try and take away some of these remaining Ancients and some of this remaining hard camp. but they will not get a kill.
They are just trying to get their main items here on Tundra, and once they do, then Viper is gonna be the enemy that they want to go for. And really, Yakult's brothers, with the great laning stage that they had on the Viper, other than taking some towers, they haven't capitalized on it. Because as we mentioned, until the Nix gets level 6, now he has it. But very much no other heroes that can go with him in these, to be a hunting party. So it's... Yakult's brothers, they did counter Tundra in a lot of ways in this game. But they're having issues killing people. And then your good laning stage kind of goes down the drain.
33 now just finished a Blink Dagger. He is the most farmed hero on the map. So he's going to be terrifying. And they didn't see this Blink, so they could potentially smoke up and try to reveal it. Get a big core kill here. And they're thinking about it, and that's indeed exactly what they're going to do. Adventure time, baby. Who is the priority target? You mentioned this Viper. I don't think they're going to find the Viper, though.
Whoever shows in the mid
there's
lane.
nobody in front of them. Yeah.
They see a hero, he's gonna jump and roar. Like, there's no doubt about it. Maybe the Enchantress, you're just gonna give up on that one just because she's a little bit harder to kill.
Radiant's middle tower.
Beastmaster War does actually scout out this Enchantress. They hook shot onto her.
Ulti.
Paulison should end up dead. Whitemon triggers the freezing field from the high ground. It takes a while, but Paulison will end up dead here. Unfortunately, Baboka couldn't find the angle for the interrupt.
Oh, they know where
Same
Fly
time.
is. They saw the courier. 33 is going. This is bad.
Fly. Don't do it. He waveforms away. The Wild Axes, though, do not confirm his position. 33, though, still wants to chase. Man, if it wasn't nighttime, Fly might already be dead. Adaptive Strike throwing back 33. Fly will live. Waveform. He is out into the corner. TPs to the tier 2 in the top lane, and he's out.
Baboka is being annoyed by Sax as well. When you know that he used the Vendetta defensively, you are kind of aware where he's going to be striking. The thing is, he's going to be striking on you because Fly is coming.
Yeah, Fly is here, but unfortunately, they don't have enough, and they don't really have that much vision of the enemy heroes. And it turns out to be the correct call because 33 was actually about to show up.
Oh, they got a
Hook shot from Saxa going out onto Fly. They do manage to destroy one of these cogs, but it doesn't matter. 33 there with the roll. Emo finally getting involved in a fight, but drops the Viper Strike onto a Clockwork who will happily bleed if it means killing off the Fly Morphling.
That was beautifully done by Saxa. He also had the great healing Lotus. That was one of the reasons that they weren't chasing him, right? They got him to half HP there, and maybe he would want to commit. But still, we are coming back to Fly having a bad laning stage. It feels like this series, I mean, the games in it will be decided how the laning stage of the safe lane of Yakult's brothers went, or rather maybe how good of a laning stage 33 had. And this one, he had the perfect one. Completely different game.
Yeah, I think that's the correct read. Like, no matter what, if these two teams play, that's going to be the lanes of focus. And Yakult's brothers want to smoke up right now. They have a Manta available on Morphling, and the scan will trigger. They will now see Whitemon, but it's Whitemon, whatever. It's a, 4-hero smoke to kill a CM. We already have a tier 1 tower, so there's not much we can gain from this.
They have a good vision aggressively there, so maybe if Saika is not careful, he can walk over that ward. Okay, he's not crazy. He's going to move away. They found Emo all alone.
Dead, and he's all alone, but he does have this Hurricane Pike getting himself away for now. Unfortunately, the Blood Rite can follow him up onto the high ground. They really want to kill Lauren off. A couple more right clicks. He finally gets the kill, but they burnt through quite a lot of HP to get it. Unfortunately, they don't have as much follow-up from Yakult's brothers. And now 33 jumping in. He gets the roll out onto this Morphling. They zip into him with Lorenov. It is yet another kill onto the Water Boy. 3 for 1. And what a fight from Tundra on this high ground of the Radiant lineup.
Dude, they are doing everything right. And for me, Saxa, the MVP. He's the one that secured this laning stage for 33, and he's the one that's finding the openings. On the top lane, he's baiting them in. That is the first time that the Morphling dies. Now he finds Emo as well with the hook shot. Keeps him in place until his team comes. Sure, Yakult's brothers were in the vicinity as well, but they weren't as close. And the fight basically started with the Viper being at 10% HP. He was surviving for a very long period of time once his teammates did come. But this is Tundra utilizing the mobility of their heroes and the immobility of the Viper in itself to make things happen. They're just running circles around the Chinese squad right now.
It's a 6k net worth lead at the moment. They might want to go on to 33, and indeed that is the case. Boboka blinks on top of him, find the impale, and that kill unfortunately goes the way of Paulison. Emo would have loved to claim that massive juicy stack of gold. However, it's more important that 33 is just dead and off the map for a little bit of time.
This game is going to be a fight of position 4s, but the thing is it's much easier for Tundra to connect once their position 4 gets the connection than it is for a Nyx Assassin. And Tundra, they recognize that this game, they get a gem even earlier than Yakult's brothers did in the previous one, because the Nyx Assassin is the way for the China squad to make their way back into this game.
We will have ourselves a Tormentor going the way of Boboka. All right. An additional break to go along with what the Viper has going for himself. We haven't really seen him use the Vendetta hits that much, right? He's been more focused on ensuring that the Impale comes out.
He has used it, it's just that we haven't seen him getting kills from it, so nobody really cares. I think he used it on the CM on the bottom, and he used it on the Clockwork on top, even now on the Beastmaster, but in the end it's not making a difference. This shard also breaking, it's good versus the Seeker, but at this point the BKBs are already going to be coming out.
Tommy on Tundra's lineup goes the way of Whitemon. Okay, that's a very nice shot.
Yep, both of their supports have nice shards. Crystal Clone is pretty solid, especially with you wanting to get away, let's say, from the Rolling Thunder. Just get missed by that one could save your life.
Speaking of saving lives, Tundra TP'd out just before the smoke from Yakult's brothers connected onto them. And Boboka went for the full wrap, unable to find anybody, sadly.
We still haven't seen Saika join much into these fights, probably because he knows that he's going to be public enemy #1. So he's just allowing his teammates to do the dirty work, and he's going to be there once the fight is coming to an end. He is so stacked, man. He gets an Aghanim Scepter, he's going to be even harder to kill. This is the 9-second BKB still going strong, and Mjolnir, an item that we kind of forgot existed in the game of Dota just because of how broken Gleipnir is for so long.
I mean, this is, to be fair, this is classic Saika gameplay, man. You know, the rest of the team running around, making nonsense happen on the map while I'm just farming away. Boys, I'll be there eventually, guys. I'll get there. I won't die, but just don't worry about me. Play Dota, boys.
He tends to be sometimes very aggressive with his heroes, but Seeker is this type of a hero that you can very easily die in a team fight. You're really not that tanky, so you want to be ahead. And when you have a Mjolnir, you are the fastest farmer on the map. You know that you had a great laning stage, Morphling didn't. You got a much better farming item than the Morphling, so even though he generally does outfarm you early on, at this point in the game, you will be getting more. And you get to that point once you get the Aghanim Scepter where you cannot die, and you can do whatever the hell you want. Very smart approach.
Preparing themselves for the upcoming Roshan as Loranov. This should be able to find an easy kill onto Paulison. Bloodrite drop down, very easy grab there. And with Roshan respawning in about a minute, once they ping out that it's not bottom, they're going to start thinking about, yeah, it's probably going to be a nighttime rush. They might even take a twin gate through. What do you think? Twin gate through top now, or do we start putting pressure on the tower in the meantime?
You go twin gate top because you want to clear it out from... oh no, it's not... Dude, it's 2340. Yeah, the Roche can spawn, and it's very likely to spawn, right? It will spawn, we know it. No, you stay here. You want to fight it on the bottom side of the map because you have vision. If it was going to be the dire side Roche, you would already be there placing wards if this was 2455. But considering it's only 24 right now, you do expect to not be super unlucky.
We've seen before that they were able to take Roche in less than a minute. They'll have about 45 seconds to do it this time around.
Nyx is
However,
there.
The heroes are stronger. Yeah, but Nyx is there. Can Boboka stop this?
Maybe he's thinking about shoving out the wave. Maybe cutting off some help? No, Boboka should get out. This Vendetta is expiring. Nobody can help him. Kill a courier.
You'll at least let his team know that, okay guys, they're probably rushing because Saika is just walking, ambling towards the side of the map, but it's too late. 33 does too much damage, so they get the Aegis, and this time around, Loranov will be the one to claim it. They want him to be more involved in diving deep into these engagements.
Yeah, when you have the BKB on the Beastmaster, you are not gonna die. You are able to protect yourself 9 seconds from this Viper and Morphling damage, because both of them do mostly magical at this point still.
Speaking of magic damage, Fly has just not been able to recover his position in this game. Still building into the Kanda, but man, those 2 deaths in the laning phase, it really cannot be overstated just how much of a difference
they found
it made
him
to
with
his
a scan.
game. And now he's going to die again, potentially. Does have the waveform away, but there's the dive.
Manta.
33 gets him. Does have the Manta in 2 seconds, but it's 2 seconds too long. 33 kills Fly yet again in this game.
You jinxed him, man. He would have had the best Morphling game in the world, but you had to say it. Oh, I just hope Fly is not gonna have one of his bad Morphling performances. Then it's exactly what happened. This is looking terrible for him at the moment.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a classic Fly Morphling game. Not classic in a good way. The tier 2 tower gets melted through mid. And Tundra probably still not feeling comfortable enough to go high ground just yet. So they will come out. Saxa comes across Zeal, 4-star forward into this cogs. Can Zeal get out of here? Saika is here before he even rolls, so Zeal knows that his life is forfeit. Loranov getting the dominating streak. And just this entire map feeling like it's the property of Tundra Esports.
He wants the Lotus Orb, and it's so good in this game. And let's see now, maybe you can make something happen on the top lane.
Okay, Boka going on to 33. Fly is here as well. They do have right-click damage, and they get him. Emo is the one that credited with that kill. White one try to create space with the ultimate, but it's not going to work out. He ends up dead as well. Loranov and Saika, though, they are coming, hoping to try and clean up the stragglers here. The first one caught out will be Paulison, trying to TP out. Will he be able to get her? Yes, he does.
Very nice. But don't die, Fly, please. He has a waveform, so he's fine. Okay, that wasn't too bad from Yakult's brothers. The Beastmaster just cannot get his BKB off. The spike airpace is very annoying because he was forced to go for the Aghanim Scepter rather for the Helm of the Dominator and the Overlord, just because, well, you are versus the Enchantress.
Changing up the builds. Loranov just stealing away some of these stacks. And Emo looks like he's going to go into that full right click, right? Like, not just the Hurricane Pike Manta, but Parasma is going to be the next option from him at the moment. As, of course, the option that you should all be pursuing at home as you are here watching BB Dacha Dota 2 is to make sure that you follow us on Twitch, follow us on all of our social media. Make sure that you do not miss out on a single second of BB Dacha action.
They want Fly.
Fly, middle. Oh no, they jump him. 4-star will be there from Paulison. This time around, Fly will live. He's on the high ground. He's safe. How do they keep catching him when his Manta is down, dude? It's like 33 is telepathic about the cooldown.
Because he has to use it every single time of cooldown to shove out the waves. It's just because you're behind. If you're keeping the Manta to remove something, you are going to be falling even further behind. That's a disaster.
Boka was able to grab a Wisdom Rune. Okay, averting disaster for his team. And now Rolling Thunder from Zeal has to cancel it. He's inside the Blood right now. But they're not playing with the full lineup. They do kill off Zeal quite quickly. Loranov sitting with the Aegis, it will be taken away. Paulison losing his life, but 33 losing his as well. The Beastmaster is dying. He barely survives though. He's on 2 HP. Does eventually tick out to the damage from Emo. And Emo is now cleaning up house. He's found the Bloodseeker, killed him off. Loranov using all the mana to zip away, but Fly, he does have now the Bloodseeker form. He has the Thirst active, able to chase the Crystal Maiden down. And although they lost Zeal super early in that engagement, it turns out Yakult's brothers, the strength of Emo cannot be overstated.
Just one fight, they went close to the Viper, and this is a problem with your BKBs getting lower, right? You would, as Tundra, want to delay this as much as possible, go for pickoffs, run circles, and never go for a big team fight so that your BKBs can stay high until the very end of the game. But these kind of things, these kind of openings, if you give too many to Yakult's brothers, they can come back. You might have crushed this Morphling early on, but he's coming back. The only one that holds some big difference between him in terms of net worth is only this Bloodseeker, and he always needs to be roughly an item ahead over the Morphling. That's a big hex.
Yeah, it's a massive hex. There's some source of initiation that they didn't really have. And they finally kill Loranov. That's how they reveal the hex through this mid lane. Oh my goodness. Dude, that was... Okay, they did not see that coming. And that's why, you know, sometimes when you build your items, build them in secret in the base. The enemy team not aware of their hex coming out.
Baboka is outplaying Saksa on the map a bit. He's the one that's finding everything. He's stealing the wisdom runes. He's making openings. This clockwork in the early stages of the game, he was the one setting everything up, and now it's the Nyx assassin. And with the storm being dead, you don't have the gem. Now it's gonna be even easier for Baboka to do the right job. Of course, one misstep and you're gonna die and give it back. But this in itself is Yakult's brothers almost completely back into the game.
Fly has the full condo available, building into a BKB. A huge BKB because they have been committing the roll onto him primarily, so they do still have that one spell, but once he goes BKB and if Aurora is down, he suddenly feels kind of immortal in the middle of these engagements.
Lincoln Spheres and Lotus Orbs are gonna start coming out from Yakult's brothers. We talked about it 15 minutes ago that they needed to catch back up, and they did. So now it's time for those luxury items, the ones that do target what Tundra have. And considering that Storm didn't go for a teamfight approach, he went for the Hex. These Lincolns and Lotus are going to be a big deal. Beastmaster, he understands what he needs to do. Survive inside of these fights. Look at his items. He has an Aeon Disc, and he also has a Craggy Coat in terms of his neutral item.
He's like, me, die, nope. Saksa, unfortunately, not going to be as fortunate as he gets found out by Baboka. Very quick kill there. And man, Baboka has just been working this map at the moment, doing his utmost. It's now only a 3k net worth lead for Tundra, and Roche is not that far from respawning. And if it's anything like the previous ones, it should be on the Radiant side of the map, which could be problematic for Tundra, given how things are going right now.
And now we're seeing the downside of the Beastmaster not going for the Helm of the Overlord. We're seeing just how much the Enchantress is giving to the to their lineup, because if you would have that, let's say you have a Black Dragon, you would be shoving in the waves. But Tundra have been focusing on getting kills so that they can shove in the waves. And why do they have their gem back? Did they buy a new one? Yakult's brothers just put theirs in the base. Can we check the fountain of Yakult's brothers? I don't think the Nyx has been dying recently.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Like,
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Yeah. All right. I mean, you are playing Nyx Assassin, right? Kind of, you don't want to be walking around with the gem to give away. But smoke up from both sides. 10 heroes gone dark off the map, and they are both in the same area. Clockwork Rocket's not going to find anybody just yet, but they will have a decent idea of where they're going. And now look at this. They found the Beastmaster, the Bloodseeker first. Bloodseeker gets eviscerated. Beastmaster is next on the chopping block. He's trying to TP out. 33, he's going to be fine. But now it's up to the rest of this lineup to try and escape. Whitemon TP's out the last minute.
Baboka is not done.
Bloodseeker is dead. 60 seconds in the grave. He catches a little bit of vision onto Saksa. Misses with the impale. However, creates the opportunity for Fly to waveform in. Saksa biding his time. Got himself into this expanded armature power cogs. Unfortunately, gets betrayed by the neutral creeps. They put in some damage. Fly follows it up with the adapter strike. And that's 2 heroes gone from the count. Now was Tundra smoking first. They were going on the offensive. Instead, you lose your Bloodseeker at the beginning of the fight.
Usually it's the Rocket Flare that gives you vision, but this time around it gave info to the enemy team. They knew from which side you were coming, and they just went in without fear. Rolling Thunder connects onto the Seeker. He gets instantly blown up, and I think he used the BKB as well. So that is a huge victory for Yakult's brothers. This Viper, he's level 21. We might see him turn into a universal hero, and looking at his items, he is gonna be packing a punch snare if it comes to that.
Yeah. The scary thing about this is that Hex that we saw earlier on, now with these Lincoln Spheres, the BKBs, another Lincoln's coming from Fly, you can't really find the impact from this Hex for Laranov.
Nope, you can't. At that point where he bought it, it seemed like a good idea. Now it's looking like a wasted item. It really is not looking great. As Saika, look at him. He has a Lincoln Spheres. The thing is, Rolling Thunder and the Impale, they don't care about this Lincoln Sphere all that much. So I'm not 100% sure about that. He just wants to remove the Viper Strike, it seems.
Dire are scanning.
Unfortunately for him, Emo can be very, very careful with when he uses that Viper Strike. Wait until he knows for a fact it's going to go through.
One thing
Also, just the sheer right-click damage from this Viper is kind of crazy right now.
Yep. One thing I've noticed from Tundra, though, in this series, even though they've in the first game been losing, their big macro calls are almost always on point. So when they saw that they got caught, they immediately started running back. Do they really think they can kill this Roche? He's just gonna walk away.
They've got Cogs. They've got Cogs. They've got the Raw, Cogs.
Run, Piggy. They got him.
He's actually getting it. Oh no, Roche! Is he gonna make it out? No, he won't. Dude, just as you were saying that Tundra's macro calls are impeccable, we get a demonstration of that.
Yep.
Really amazing stuff coming in from them. Stealing an Aegis, giving it towards Psyker, making sure that they maintain not just their net worth advantage, but now they're not going to feel terrified about an upcoming fight. It's still scary, but at the very least, you can guarantee that no matter what, Bloodseeker will participate in that engagement.
And that's Storm Spirit with an axe. And now the Roche changed his items in the inventory. I don't know. There is no rule to this. Sometimes he changes it. Sometimes he doesn't. When he starts moving, it's just so weird. I know I'm not sure who I cast with, but I was the play-by-play. He's like, yeah, but that's because they started hitting the Roche during daytime. They started hitting the Roche during daytime, and he switched it to an Aghanim Scepter, which is a huge deal. Storm Spirit having an axe this game, much more important than a Hex at this point in the game.
I believe it's because they killed him just as he left the base. If I remember correctly, I think the swap over happens once he leaves the actual pit.
Okay.
On Radiant side.
It's, that is the new theory that in probably in like 2 days we're gonna find out it's not like that. It's still completely random. But yeah, you could be right. You could be right.
With this Roshan, they're going to still try and make sure that they're putting pressure onto Yakult's brothers. And they TP to the top lane with Lorinov. They see these very pesky heroes shoving in these waves. Got the double catapults here. Lorinov needs to address this. They need to shove in all 3 waves before they feel comfortable going high ground.
We haven't really mentioned the refresher on the Beastmaster. That is a huge deal. A double roar can change the fight completely, especially when you don't have many things to break the Lincoln Sphere. Maybe you just want to use one roar to break the Lincolns. Wouldn't be too bad.
Psyker and the gang, they're smoked up. They want to try and find Polison. There's going to be the first roar. The Enchantress won't be happy about dying, but she does have buyback available, so it's not the end of the world for Yakult's brothers.
It's hard for you to siege as Tundra, so you would rather go for kills. And they're going to get another one.
They find Zeal. There's a Lotus Orb available, but it's not really going to matter. He still finds himself getting into the Rupture. Look where he's at, though, in this crevice. Almost kept him far away enough from the damage, but they have a Blood Right, so we'll finish him off. Does have buyback, though. Won't have the Rolling Thunder once he comes back.
Very smart from 33 not to use his refresher. In a lot of situations, the offlaner there would use the refresher, and then you wouldn't have the double roar. Now you just wait a little bit longer, and you are going to have that for a fight. So with 2 heroes dead, sieging becomes increasingly easier.
MOUZ just gonna pepper in some damage. That's a lot of damage just from a couple of right clicks. Oh my god, Emo, bro, relax. This is the game of Dota.
Psyker is gonna try to heal on the creeps. He's dying!
Oh my god, he's actually gonna die. First life taken away. 33, can't get off the roar as well. The Manta style of Viper dodges it. They need to get out of here. Lorinov has popped his BKB and just zips out right now. A wonderful defense from Yakult's brothers, and they didn't even need to buy back on the Pangolier to make that happen.
Okay, we're getting Emo at his best. He's doing everything right here. And, well, him, that facet that makes your hits explode, I think Psyker was just underestimating that from the Viper. Usually you think, okay, it's gonna take like 200, 300 of my HP. It took away a half of his HP. On top of that, Blood Ride in the backlines, being countered by the Spike Carapace as well. That was another form of damage that just kicked in onto the Seeker at the same time, so you just lose the Aegis like that.
So on both sides in this game, we've seen situations where the Aegis of the Immortal disappears quite quickly after being gained. I also have a little bit of trivia lore for you here, my friend. So in the previous game, of course, Nightfall played his first ever SF game. This game for Emo on his Viper, it's his 7th game all time. The last time he played Viper in a professional game was in June of 2020. He hasn't touched this hero for more than 4 years in a competitive game.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, he hasn't played it much in pubs either, and that is a real player, right? Because yeah, I don't see any in his pubs in the last 8 days. Just goes to show how confident he was that he wanted to crush the laning stage. In general, I don't necessarily think that crushing the laning stage is what is allowing them to have a decent game on Yakult's brothers, but he is playing the Viper impeccably, and this hero is not easy to play, especially when the enemies are mobile.
Next assassin will be caught out here by Lorinov. Gonna give away a gem as well, so
Nice.
that's pretty big. Double gem for Lorinov. Both eyes can reveal Invis now.
Yep, easy for the Storm, and he doesn't have buybacks on the next assassin. Of course, Tundra still, you don't want to siege, you want more pickoffs, and with these pickoffs, they are getting themselves super far ahead in this game. Though we have seen with a good start to the fight, it's very hard for Tundra to fight versus Yakult's brothers. They still need more pickoffs to be able to threaten the high ground in any way.
3k gold right now for 33, sitting with the Havoc's hammer as well. Very tanky boy on this Beastmaster. And I like that they put this relic onto Lorinov. Like, relic plus the Aghanim Scepter. That feels very good for the team fights, especially if they can catch them after the Lincolns have been popped.
He found Zeal.
Oh, Zeal! He's gonna get caught just as the TP was about to finish. No way out of this one, buddy. Does still have buyback, but that was a very good read coming in from Tundra.
Lorinov is soloing this game, not gonna lie, right now, and he's gonna get level 25 as well, right? So his damage output will be insane. He will be able to solo kill almost everybody on the map. Maybe even the Viper himself dies.
Dude, they're walking underneath an observer ward, and they don't have the gem with them. They don't know they're being scouted perfectly right now.
Tox is here.
Okay, Saksa, he's here, and the vision is still
Smoke
here
is
as well.
coming.
They see them perfectly. This is so dangerous. Fly might be the one that gets caught first. He's right underneath the ward. Whitemon tries to catch him out. Fly though, still alive. Brahim Aurora will be there. The 4 staffs are out to try and keep this man alive, but they have another one. They won't need to do anything more because they find the kill, and now Hookshot back in onto the Viper. Emo gets killed, and Emo doesn't have buyback. They bought back on Fly and Zeal almost instantly, but nothing doing to save this Viper from extinction.
I'm gonna lie, you don't have your roars, but Viper is the main reason that you don't want to go high ground. The Viper is acting something like a sniper in this game on the high ground. He's just standing his ground and doing massive amounts of damage without you being able to catch him, and even if you do, he's tanky enough. But Tundra are just understanding their lineup perfectly. We don't even have to push it, guys. We'll get another opportunity to go for pickoffs, and I think 33 has had this Aeon disc for 15 minutes and just never assembling it. Yo, guys, I didn't even need it. I thought I needed it, but not really. I'm just way too strong.
In retrospect, I don't know what happened in that bottom fight, right? Because they just bought a gem, a new one on Polison, after they lost Baboka's one. And I don't know where that gem is. Where is it lying right now? It's not on any of their heroes. Is it chilling back in base? If they don't have that instant initiation onto Fly, knowing where he is at amongst everyone else, that fight looks very different, but... And look, these wards are still here, bro. They're still here. Tundra knows exactly what Yakult's brothers are up to.
Yep. You know, go for the smoke, but even if you win a fight right now as Yakult's brothers, there's no Roche for you to take. And winning a fight is not going to be easy. All the lanes are shoving in towards you.
Tundra, 26k net worth ahead right now. They're pushing in the waves. They have an Aegis coming up in 2 minutes if they want to wait for that before going high ground.
Dude, the level 25s of Tundra are going to be so strong. I mean, they have one on the Storm. The Beastmaster was very close to his. Maybe he has gotten it. So Primal Roar, 30 seconds cooldown is going to be insane. Did he go for that one? Yeah, he should have gone for it. Yep,
When the
he
Beastmaster,
did.
yeah, he did, yeah.
Yep, and then if you get 2 rupture charges on the Seeker, it's a problem. Yakult's brothers are gonna have to wait for minute 60 and get those mirror shields or else.
Times are tough right now for Yakult's brothers.
Radiant's bottom
They still have farm, but they're being eclipsed by all of these dire cores, especially the Storm Spirit, like you mentioned, is basically soloing the game. And he finished off a Parasma, so his output of damage is quite insane. It's weird that you don't even have to, that You have a crazy farm Bloodseeker and he's not even your biggest problem. He's like, okay, we'll worry about him eventually in the fight. We have to find a way to control and contain the Storm Spirit.
The only thing that Saika needs to do in these fights is live. He shouldn't put himself in an uncomfortable position. That's it. That's his job.
Allison dies here at 33, happy to show off his new talents, so that the cooldown on this Roar is practically nothing. And Zeal cannot afford to die. He does not have buyback, and if he dies, it's a dieback as well, so it's a huge portion of time.
The Beastmaster has practiced his voice every hour, every day to get to this point where he doesn't need no rest. It kind of reminds us of our line of work, doesn't it?
12-hour days, he's like, it's fine, I can talk all day, every day, doesn't really matter. He's got his water, his ginger tea, he's ready, man, he knows what he's doing.
Every single time they got the Roche on the bottom side, and now they're going to be getting it on top. Who's going to be the lucky guy to get the Aghanim Scepter, or Gal? I think it's going to be a guy. You give it to the Clockwork here. Just shoving out the waves even more is a big deal, and that's going to allow it to catch people easier.
It's going down very quickly. Our boy Clockwork isn't really nearby though, but they can just get it to him. Maybe they give it to Whitemon as reward for how well you've been playing in the game. The banner, there's no space. He doesn't have space for banner. That's funny.
We all know that girl jeans don't have big pockets, so we're seeing the CM there struggling from this problem as well. Oh, he got the axe. He actually ate the axe on the Crystal Maiden. Okay. It's a really strong axe, but oh, he's finishing the BKB. That's why. Okay. Makes a lot. It's 2-in-1. The old Aghanim Scepter and the old Shard together. So you can move, you can cast, and you are doing more damage with it as well. With a chance of if people are inside of the freezing field for a long period of time, they do get frostbitten.
Now though, with the Sages in tow, here they come. Laranov jumping onto the high ground, looking towards Emo. They want to kill this Viper off. He gets off his BKB, but dies regardless. No buyback available for him. Zeal inside the Rupture. Tried to get away with the Rolling Thunder, but it instead just kills him. Both are dead without buyback. Fly, can he do anything here to halt this aggression? Doesn't seem like it. They have a banner as well, making this push happen. So, Lane of Rax gets destroyed without much of a thought from Tundra. They're looking to get a second, and they might end the game right here.
Do you see what happened there? It wasn't the Rolling Thunder, it was a roll-up. But Saika has such strong attack speed, right? And he also pushes when you're ruptured. So he hit him 3 times really fast, and then Rolling Thunder, the roll-up just went like the Rolling Thunder into the fountain. It was pretty cool interaction, not something that you see too often.
Not something you see all that often, but something that we have grown accustomed to seeing is 33 smiling after a successful Beastmaster game. What a legend, what a performance from him. The lane, them being able to get those kills onto Fly, it's just broke the game apart. There was no comeback potential. Like, when you have to spend half your game just recovering a Morphling, that's the guy that's supposed to be able to drive the team into the late game. Just feels impossible to play Dota like this.
Yeah, 2 things for me changed this game. So, of course, the Morphling being shut down, but as you mentioned, like macro calls of Tundra, when they got caught in that big team fight, they could have lost all 5 of their heroes, but as soon as they lost their Bloodseeker, they were all out. Sure, you ran down only a Clockwork, but that doesn't matter. And then making that Roche call, right? Making that fight that was perfect for Yakult's brothers mean nothing because you do not get the Roche. With that Roche, you get the Aghanim Scepter of the Storm Spirit. His Hex, at that point in the game when all the Lincolns and all the Lotuses wasn't doing that much, they needed some team fight, and it changed everything. We are going to see that fight yet again once it does happen, and we're just going to be looking at Tundra. Your Seeker gets caught. Everybody just starts running. Nobody even thinks of fighting. It's just beautiful. I don't know who's giving the calls, but they're perfect.
Yeah, but even this call to re-engage, after it's like, well, these heroes are low. A lesser team might have decided to retreat, but they feel the power of 33. And he just was putting the work in onto Fly. This Morphling just wasn't allowed to play Dota. From the laning phase, 33 had it out for him. He's like, alright, buddy, I hope you enjoy game 1. You're not going to enjoy game 2. This was one of the only moments where it felt quite decent for them, where we saw the power of Emo and how strong he could be, but ultimately, this was the Tundra show from beginning to end.
Yep, it really was. There were some okay moments from Yakult's brothers, but I think they came down more the timings lining up really nicely for them, and Tundra underestimating the Viper for a second, like this fight. It's literally them underestimating the damage output of the Viper, nothing else.
Also, this one of the few fights where Fly got to run around with the Bloodseeker form, and if he was able to do that more reliably throughout the game, it could have looked really solid for them, but
This was that
never
fight.
really got to pan it out.
We didn't even see how it started. We were only seeing the aftermath of Tundra running away, and then after it, see, this is 33:05 at 34:56. They started going for the Roche, and it's insane what they managed to do in these kind of circumstances. Usually, you lose the Roche.
I'm still very impressed and very perplexed that they were able to fight so effectively around this ward. And it stayed up the entire duration as well. If they don't have that perfect vision, they don't get this fight, but that's one of the things I think Tundra is also really good at, playing around effective vision on the map.
Look at how much damage Storm did in the backline there. That Storm, level 25 with the shard, the damage output is sometimes dumb. With this hero, let's say you're not doing that much damage in the early stages of the game, and then suddenly you hit level 25, you have a shard, and everybody dies. That's about it. I've seen so many games being turned by that. In this game, obviously, they were mostly winning, but either way, it was a big turning point in the game. His Aghanim and his level 25.
Yeah, and having access to that Ags, man, I'm still so impressed by that Roshan fight. That play that they decided to make it happen. You get it, you win the game. If you don't get it, probably Yakult end up winning the game. But they made the right call, made the right decision, executed properly throughout the game. And I think for me, it has to be, if we had to award MVPs, for me, it has to be Loranov. Like, given how rough the early laning phase was for him, and then relative to the impact he had throughout the rest of the game, shout out to this guy, man. We can see why Tundra wanted him on the books.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody on Tundra did a good job. I think early on it was Saksa, and then Loranov for me really is the MVP, because you prevailed through all of the hardships that you had in this game. But really, if I look at anybody on their side, everybody did exactly what was needed of them.
Absolutely, and they were of course able to exploit our boy Fly, who had some pretty dangerous deaths that ended up putting him quite far behind in the game. And that's what enabled them to just constantly keep putting pressure onto him, knowing that Emo's gonna have some impact, but if we can just make sure Morphling doesn't, we're probably gonna have ourselves a good game. The series will therefore end 1-1, but it was a very, very close affair. And of course, as a result of this victory on the side of Tundra Esports, they are the ones that are going to be granting us our interview. We have a word from the carry player Nightfall, who's going to drop some knowledge on us.
I have Nightfall joining me here. I mean, it's a best of two, so technically you guys didn't win, but you did also. I do want to talk about that first game with you. It was a tough one, very hard to get going. What was it like coming into this tournament, and were you expecting the first game to be as rough as it was?
Hello. I mean, for first game, I think we had not like best draft, and it's also like first game of the tournament, so it's like a little bit like shaky, but it's just a group stage and like a lot of matches ahead, so we're just looking to play better with like every game and draft better.
When it does come to a group stage and the fact that there are so many games, are you doing this preparation for each opponent that you come up against individually, or right now are you trying to find out how you fit into Tundra and this new lineup that you've joined?
And for preparation, I think it's just casual draft preparation from 33 and Moon. And other than that, we're just like trying to play some streams, since we couldn't play that much because they were in PGL tournament. And so we're just trying to play some streams and try to play good as team together.
Yeah, how was that? You know, they're playing in the PGL tournament, but they're playing with stand-ins. You're coming in and joining the team. Like, was it only a couple of days that you had to work on this, or what exactly was that hold-up that you couldn't have as many scrims as you'd like?
I mean, yeah, it was only, I guess, 2 days of streams, but that's life. We're just gonna use this tournament and like every game, like gonna try to improve our game and drafts and play better. That's it.
I think the biggest question for me, though, is the fact that you coming from BB Team, it was a team where you guys were all speaking Russian, and now there's this question that is it easier when you're all speaking the same language, when it's your native tongue, or is there this challenge when you're coming over now to Tundra where you're all going to have to go back to speaking English?
I mean, I already spoke English in back after TI10 in EG for a year, but it's definitely like after that I played 2 years or like 2.5 for BetBoom. So it's definitely like challenging, and it's like not like super comfort zone yet, but just need some time to adapt, and it's gonna be fine, I think.
Would you say that's more difficult than actually fitting into Tundra when it comes to playing Dota?
Yeah, I think it's different, more different.
All right. Well, Nightfall, I'll let you go. I know that you guys have some more games coming up today, but look, congratulations, the 1-1, and thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Natty, and of course, Nightfall. And Nightfall, you know, that's one of the things we have to be aware of right now, Harry Freak. Language differentiation, language changes. There's that many teams around the world that speak multiple different languages in the game. So it's we have to credit them whenever we see a player able to adapt from going from one primary language into another for the sake of good Dota 2.
Yeah, and we know that Russian-speaking individuals don't really practice English inside of pub games, right? They just speak their own because there's way too many of people from the Russian-speaking area. So yeah, he might need some adaptation. But from what I've heard in this interview, I think his English is great. So I wouldn't see that being a big issue going forward.
Well, there's something else that they have to adapt to as well. You know, it's growing pains, making sure that they involve everybody else in this particular situation. Of course, do not forget everybody else in terms of growing pains, and make sure that you hit this follow button on the Twitch page. Follow us on our social media pages as well, so that you are aware of everything happening within the BB Dacha landscape. You don't want to miss a second of this Dota, because next up, whoo! Yakult's brothers cannot rest, my friend. You go from Tundra to having to take on the TI champions of Team Liquid. Give me a quick preview of how you expect that to go.
Ooh, I would expect them